A lot of roller skating.
I like Valerie Perrine for the other role.
Yeah, it's a pretty insane movie. It's described on IMDb as a pseudo autobiography of Disco's The Village People. And they are front line of this poster.
Oh, yeah.
They are front and center of
what
this
year
poster.
was that movie? Do you have it in front of you? 77?
1980.
1980.
So it was 4 years after he won the gold medal.
By the way, and that was also... Disco was
dying.
Fading in 1980, so they really didn't hit it right.
You know who else is in this movie? A little actor called Steve Guttenberg.
The Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah, he had a window there around the time of Cocoon.
Cocoon.
3 Men and a Baby.
Short Circuit.
Yeah.
He owned
He was
Police
Tom
Academy.
He was Tom Hanks for about 10 years.
Tom Hanks of terrible movies.
I'm going tonight to the Dodger game.
Oh, nice.
Only because, okay, where is the...
You have a desire to see the Minnesota Twins for some reason?
I know. The only... At one point it was, hey, Mason goes to a game, they're going to lose. Is that over?
The Mason
curse. That's way over.
That's been over
for
a
a while, though, it was a thing.
Okay, so
for a while it was.
I went to one Rams game last year. They played the Titans.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, that was a terrible game.
Terrible game.
Yeah, terrible game. We got clocked.
End of the third quarter. I'm like,
well, you know
time to go home.
that one time Kevin Demoff had Mace say, whose house? Rams' house at the Coliseum. And it was the game that Tampa Bay came in and Jameis Winston threw for 500 yards. And the Rams just got boat raced. And Demoff will not let it go. Like anytime, the other day we're at Rams camp, Mace goes, hey, I just want to play catch with either like John Wolford or Matthew Stafford or something. And Demoff's like, what's in it for us? Because the last time we gave you the keys to the kingdom, you just screwed us. Like, he will not let it go.
Yeah, I said, it's a dream of mine. And he said, your dream is our nightmare.
Yeah, and wait a minute. So, Slee, though, aren't the Dodgers riding a 9-game win streak?
Oh,
so if they lose tonight, then you got to stay away with.
That's basically what people are saying. It's like,
yeah.
Look, Dodgers are playing this good. You're picking the game where they've won 9 in a row.
Yeah,
it would
mean if they would lose a Tuesday night game or Wednesday night game to the Twins. Yeah, then you got to stay away.
It would mean that Allen was taking the torch from Mace, who took the torch from Max Kellerman.
Oh, that's right. Kellerman.
There was a Kellerman curse.
There was a Kellerman curse.
Kellerman destroyed teams in this city.
Oh, he did.
And I definitely did not help the Lakers last year as well.
He arrived, and all of these great teams, like the Lakers, fell apart. I think that's around when USC went on probation.
Yep,
like,
USC went on
Kellerman
probation.
Destroyed the entire city.
Destroyed the entire LA sports landscape.
Max left.
That's right.
Max left, and Lakers won. Dodgers won. And
Rams
won.
won. It really was as simple as boot Kellerman.
Yeah.
All right. Mason Island coming up next. Stay right here.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Wednesday afternoon.
We are ballers. That's exactly right. We are ballers.
Yes, indeed. If you missed yesterday's show, you missed Mace's big surprise for the crew. Cue the music. We play this because a lot of our social media posts have said all eyes on Mason and Ireland. Yes. Go to @ESPN Los Angeles, @Venice Mace. Mace threw down the chains for the crew.
Oh my gosh, it's a chain.
It's a chain
with jewelry on it that has my initial.
That's unbelievable. Now, it's a CG for Corporate Greg. This is awesome. Yeah.
Now, the great graphic work by the Fun and Games department has quite the graphic of all the guys with their chains. And here's my takeaway about the 4 pictures. Mace's photo looks like if he was to get arrested one day for tawdry activity, that would be his mugshot. Producer Jorge has an expression that reminds me of a young Crypto Ray. Crypto Ray, of course, one of our great ESPN LA superfans, who you see on Twitter all over the place. Corporate Greg's beard game is strong in his photo, and John Ireland looks completely disinterested. What's up, players? They are not going to like that joke in the Mason Ireland Reddit page. Plus, when we talk about Tupac on this show, you know what I have to throw in.
Tupac, all eyes on me. Tupac, all eyes on me.
Yes, indeed. Mason and Ireland. Let's get it going your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Tupac, whatever works.
I got my chain in the car. I forgot to bring it in. I'm going to wear it around like a name tag.
Like it.
Yeah. So
Lisa, I got home. I didn't say anything. I just walked in with it on, and she goes, "What the hell?" I go, "I'm wearing this to Idaho, and I'm not answering any questions about it. I'm just going to walk in wherever we go and see if anyone makes reference to it."
Are you actually going to do this? Like, will you actually do that?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's Idaho. What difference does it make?
It's Lisa's family. It's
Yeah,
Idaho.
I
I mean,
mean,
it seems pretty low impact.
I was going to give you some mythical money to do it, but if you're just going to
No,
it's gonna
you
be
don't
my
need to.
money.
It's easy.
Yeah, that's a gimme. That's a gimme.
That's
I was
amazing.
having a conversation with somebody yesterday, John, about, and this to me is sort of the heart of the show. Actually, do it this way. Who's right more often? Who is right more often? In predictions, in picking games, and suggesting trade? Who's right more often, you or me?
You miss a lot of game predictions,
So do you.
but
I would. What do you?
it's close.
What percentage do you think we are on being right, each of us?
I would say somewhere below 50%.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
45.
We're in the 40s, which, by the way, is really.
Which was like, no, that's like professional gamblers are 45. So, yeah.
true. Bergman, what percentage do you think each of us is right?
See, so because John does so many parlays, his is going to
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm the parlay king. I'm the defending mythical money champion.
You are the parlay king.
the
Yeah.
parlays are really bad.
Well, all I can say
so
is scoreboard. Who
I
won
would-
last year?
What's up, players?
You did. I would say that John is right about 38% of the time.
Wouldn't surprise me if that was a good number.
35. John's right more often.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. We should be at least batting 50. These are just guesses.
No.
Wait a minute.
All right,
Think
now
about
let's-
it.
okay,
These
let's-
are just guesses.
Let's do a couple of things.
Okay.
All right? Let's put these things on record.
Okay.
Okay?
On record. Ready.
You have bet on both sides of this issue, so now I'm going to lock you down.
Okay.
Opening night for the Lakers. Is Russell Westbrook on the roster? Yes or no?
Yes. Don't I have more money on yes than
You
no?
do have more money on yes than no.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right.
I'm going yes.
Just to be different, I'll go no. So there's a.
Whoa.
But I don't know anything. You could be right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the Dodgers win the World Series this year?
Yes. Easy bet for you. Just take the no.
They could get traded, but I actually think they are going to win it. Now, when they get there, I think they're going to play the Astros. Who do you think's coming out of the American League?
I'm going Yankees.
Okay.
I think they'll figure out their pitching between now and then.
All right. So there's two things we're different
Yeah,
about.
two things we're different about.
All right, one more.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of, predict the order of finish in the AFC West.
Whoa, that's tough. Order of
I'll
finish.
go first if
Okay,
you want.
go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos.
I'm going Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Okay. So there you go.
How dare you?
You know, how dare me?
They're
It's a
going
really tough
17-0.
division. Really tough division.
I think the NFC West is easier. That's
Much easier, yeah.
That's Rams, Niners, Cardinals, Seahawks.
and Seahawks. Yeah,
right?
that's a gimme. That's a gimme. People don't turn to us to be right, do they? They're not expecting us to be right all the time. We're just guessing
nobody
here.
is.
Yeah, nobody
is.
Nobody is. All right, so last night Dodgers win again. They're continuing their roll now. Padres. Did you see how the Padres lost?
Well, they won on a Machado walk-off.
On a Machado walk-off, yeah, but
Josh Hader blew a big lead before he did it. Yeah.
Josh Hader was not having a great year going into this.
He was having a good year. He was having a bad stretch. Hey, look who's here.
MT busted into the studio.
Fresh off of his trip to the Bahamas.
His kid had a hit last night.
Yeah.
Well, did you see who was there, too?
Yeah.
Steph Curry. Now, it was relayed to me, Michael. I don't know if you've heard this story, but somebody told me that Steph got up to leave, and Dave Roberts saw him because he was sitting near the dugout and relayed to somebody, hey, tell Steph not to leave. I'm about to put Trace in the game as a pinch hitter. So word got to Steph.
Yeah, nice.
And Steph stayed there and recorded it on his phone.
That's awesome.
And Trace doubled down the left field line. Now, were you there last night?
Oh, you kidding me? I thought it is the drive from San Clemente.
You were there a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, yes.
I tweeted out your interview with Kirsten Watson. That was fun.
Oh, yeah, that was nice. She's a nice lady. Very professional. She's unlike Mason.
Yeah, she is.
I pride myself on my unprofessionalism.
Yeah, she asked the tough questions, unlike you.
Oh, shut up. Ask the tough questions.
yeah.
What are we doing here?
That's right.
Well, it's so funny.
The Bahamian Grill
Boy, I tell
Master.
you, those Dodgers, though, huh? I don't know. I mean, I know the Mets are good. The Yankees are good, but I don't know who's going to beat this team. Walker
The
Buehler's going
Mets
to be
are
back.
the team that worries me.
Yeah, but Buehler's going to come back. Kershaw's going to be healthy in September.
We don't know that on either
we
front.
don't know. We hope Kershaw's back, and we hope Walker Buehler's back. Although, I'll tell you what, who would start game one right now if we didn't have Kershaw and we didn't have...
how do you say his name?
Urias. I wouldn't have a problem with Gonsolin or Anderson. They've both been great.
They've both
this
been
year.
great, but I think Julio Urias, given his
Yeah.
big game experience,
That's
would be great as a
Right.
starter. Would you start Urias or would you start Kershaw?
I would. Is Kershaw healthy?
Yeah, let's say Kershaw's healthy.
Got to go with him.
Yeah, because the question is, who do you want available in a Game 7 if you need it? And I'd want Kershaw. So whoever you pitch in Game 1 has a higher probability of being available in a Game 7.
And he's got over the playoff jinx, right? He already won a series.
He did.
Pitching well.
Went 2-0 in the World
There you
Series
go.
last
So
year.
see, that's
Yeah.
behind him.
Yeah. So hopefully,
But
hopefully
these
he's
Dodgers,
fine.
man, my God, they just throw. Now it looks like
9 in a row.
Looks like Muncy and Bellinger starting to get into a
Muncy's
groove.
starting to look good. Muncy
Yikes.
homered last night. Yeah, they're...
The overwhelming sentiment I get when I watch Dodger games this year, I cannot believe the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts. They had him.
Yeah, well, they didn't want to pay him, right?
Right, but if
Yeah,
you're
no,
not
they're
going
a
to
rich team.
if you're not going to pay him, who are you going to pay?
Let me ask you guys a question. I said this on Twitter, and nobody really went back at me. I said, "Boy, which one is?" Huh?
I said,
Yeah, which one is a more three-man formidable 1-2-3 punch? Betts, Freeman, and Turner, or Soto, Machado, and Tatis?
That's Freeman Turner.
This year, it's the Dodger guys.
But when Tatis is healthy.
Yeah, even when Tatis is, I'll take our guys.
Yeah.
I love Trey Turner. Trey Turner's such a great ball. I hope they extend Trey Turner.
Well,
find a way to do it.
It's up to Turner.
Yeah, but I mean, you throw $400 million at somebody.
400?
Sure.
Well,
But
that's
Turner?
Soto turned it down.
Yeah, but that's
turned
Soto.
it down.
We're talking about Trey Turner.
Trey
though.
Turner
might be better than
top,
Soto.
Top 5 MVP virtually every year.
400, but isn't Turner like 31?
That's a good question. I don't.
See,
off
if
the
it's
top of my head,
400
I
million, it's
don't
gonna
know.
be like a 10-year deal.
400 million is probably high for a 31.
Although, okay, and we'll get to this next now that Michael's here because the biggest story in
He's
sports
29.
right now, Turner's 29, is what should the Nets do about Kevin Durant? And the question is, Mason and I, Michael, both think they should do nothing. They shouldn't trade him, make him come in. You've always felt the other way traditionally, but I'm curious what you're going to say next. Michael's in studio. He's got Game of Games today, and we got lots of stuff coming up.
Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN. Let me tell you about our friend.
In Ireland on 710 ESPN, the OGs of LA Sports Radio. We're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwich between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason in Ireland continues now.
Please tell me now. Today is National Duran Duran Day.
Love Duran Duran.
Duran Duran
Great
used
band,
to
right?
used to come up with an album about every 6 weeks.
Yep.
Remember
Yeah.
that one year they were just hungry like the wolf and just boom, every 6
Rio,
weeks new
Rio
album.
and it. Yeah, I
like the
love
Chauffeur.
Duran Duran.
Chauffeur's one of my favorite songs.
The Reflex, great song.
Reflex is good. Yeah, they're great.
All right, so Michael Thompson has a joke
Yeah,
that's
I got a
floating
joke.
around. I wasn't texted it, so I'm not in on this joke.
Because
he
you
texted
don't-
a bunch of people.
All right.
But
So
not me.
You don't
I
think
think
I'm
you'll
funny?
like it. My wife loved this joke. Others will think it's corny. Michael, what's the joke?
Yeah, I'll let Jorge and Mace see what the thing is. I said this to Sliwa, by the way. No response.
No response.
Not even an LAL, like laugh a little.
Laugh
Guy's
a
like,
little is
he really
good.
is Mr. Spock. I'm just trying to get him to laugh. So here you go. Mace is he's my test.
Yes.
Let's see if I'm funny or not.
Okay.
Guy goes into a bar and sees a tiny man playing the piano. So he asked the bartender about this piano player. The bartender said, yeah, that guy, he's a big attraction for the bar. The guy then asked the bartender, where is the men's room? Bartender says, it's right around the corner, but let me warn you, there's a genie in there, and you better not wish for anything. Guy says, really, a genie? Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. So he goes into the men's room, Mace, and sure enough, when he comes out, there are ducks everywhere.
Ducks.
Ducks!
Okay.
They don't stop coming into the bar. The bartender is pissed. He says, you asked the genie for a wish, didn't you? You asked for $1 million, didn't you? The guy said, yeah, I guess I did. The bartender says, I told you not to ask the genie for anything. He's hard of hearing. Do you really think I wish for a 12-inch penis?
You
couldn't even get the punchline out, Michael.
Mason's laughing a little.
I like it.
12-inch pianist.
12-inch pianist. Yeah. Michael, I give that a.
You like that one?
I like that.
Okay.
You're a
That's a
funny
little bit
guy,
of a
Michael.
handshake, a little.
Yeah, one of those.
LAL for Mason.
LAL, but you got an L.
All right.
All right. So, Michael, you've always said traditionally, and you said that Jerry West, one of your heroes in the business,
Yes.
when you got traded to the Lakers, said, Michael, if you ever are unhappy here, if you want to leave, just tell me and I will get you out of here.
Right.
And you've always kind of stood behind that mentality. But now Kevin Durant has basically issued an ultimatum to the Nets. Either get rid of the coach and the GM or trade me. I don't want to play for those guys. What would you do if you were the Nets?
The Nets did the right thing trying to trade him, but the Nets' mistake, Mace, was they asked for too much. If KD was 26, 27, you can ask for the moon. But he's going to be 34.
Right.
So you can't
next month in September.
Yep.
You can't give up half your team for a 34-year-old. And that's the mistake the Nets made. They could have moved him if they'd have asked for like one good all-star player and a couple of picks. You can make a move. So, like, for example, a Jaylen Brown, some first-round picks, and maybe throw in another like a Derek White. You can get Kevin Durant for that. But the fact is the Nets saw what the Wolves paid for Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
And thought, well, we could get twice that much.
Yep.
And you're not going to get that for a 34-year-old Durant, as great as he is.
So, but what do the Nets do now?
I will still try to move him, but you got to lower the price. You got to you lower your expectations. You're not going to get back 2 All-Stars and 6 draft picks.
And Mace, you're sticking to your side of it, which is go pound sand.
Go pound sand, man. I'm so tired of this.
Mace.
Seriously. There's a difference between player movement and just being a spoiled brat.
You're
It's
right.
like, I want new crayons. I
want a new
blocks,
Paloopa now.
I want a new team. I want traded. It's like, grow up.
But, Mace, you're right about that. But there is a thing called team morale and locker room malaise. You don't want that in
They
your
had
locker
that
room.
last year. That was their
You don't,
that was
you
their
don't want
game.
that in your locker room, no matter how good the player is. You'd be better off moving that player, that franchise player, for guys who want to be there and want to play hard.
What? And just play into oblivion, right? You trade Kevin Durant, you're not competitive.
you're
You're not gonna play for the.
No.
You're not going to the finals.
No.
With Kevin Durant, you've got to, because Kevin Durant is an unbelievable scorer.
Yeah.
One of the best scorers in the league,
But-
if not the best.
But you got a disgruntled, as opposed to a gruntled employee. And any business you were in, you were a boss.
Yep.
You know, if you have disgruntled employees, that's
Fired
not good
him.
business
Yeah.
atmosphere. Am I right?
Michael, what happened with Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers, I want traded. You drafted a quarterback. You didn't get me a wide receiver. That's it. And you know what the Green Bay Packers told him? Play.
Yeah.
Just play. You've made a commitment. Just play. Kevin Durant is not going to go on the court and embarrass himself by playing badly
Okay,
next year.
speaking of embarrassing yourself,
Thank you.
did you guys see the introductory press conference for Rob Walton, the guy who bought the Denver Broncos? Now,
this Walton family, all
yeah,
that stuff.
you know, Stan Kroenke's married to a Walmart heiress. That's who Bergman's looking for, an heiress.
Yes, sir, Rebo.
Now,
Did they compare piggy banks?
yeah,
Same
I
as his
would.
wife?
Yeah.
But
I've
now,
got 7. You got
is
9.
this opening statement from Rob Walton indicative of the fact that he may not be a football fan? Listen to this.
I'd like to thank Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell, and we're just
I'd
so
like
excited.
to thank Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell.
That's a whole new website. Goodle it.
Goodle it. That's like Bergman's site. Yeah.
Goodable.
Now, do you think this guy just has had so much money his whole life that he has no idea who Roger Goodell is?
What does he care?
This guy's a CEO guy, right? I mean,
I
he
don't
doesn't
think that. He
necessarily-
just inherited Walton money.
Is he not? But he must have done something.
Well, Sam
in
Walton
life.
created Walmart and then gave the money to all of his kids,
Oh, yeah,
including
so you
Stan Kroenke's wife.
Yeah, so he's a trust fund baby.
What's that
Yeah.
guy's name?
This guy's name is
The guy that owns it's Walton.
Rob Walton.
Rob Walton.
Yeah.
So you're saying all he did was inherit money. He's got no other
Well, he
noticeable
paid
skills.
$4.6 billion for the Broncos.
Any relation
I
to
don't think
Bill?
he's ever had a job.
Any relation to Bill or Luke?
I don't think so. But he
No.
is related to Sam.
Just
Lucky for him.
randomly. Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah. Does that concern? Would that concern you?
Would you want that to happen to you, Mace? Would you like to inherit billions, or would you rather work for it?
How about this? I would love to inherit billions and still work.
Oh yeah, you could do both.
Yeah, that's what
So,
I would.
The
want
great
to do.
Derek Hall told me a story once that he was at the owners' meetings, and he's walking through the airport with one of the Major League Baseball owners, and the owner says they're on the same flight, so they're just talking in the airport, and the owner says to Derek, he goes, Derek, there is a coffee place in this airport that is unbelievable. We're going to have to do a little bit of a walk, but you got to try this coffee. It's the best coffee. And Derek's like, great, I love coffee. Let's go. And they walk through a couple of terminals, and they get to the place. He goes, okay, this is it. Derek looks up, and it's a Starbucks. And he looks at the guy and goes, this is a chain. There's one of these half a mile from your house. He goes, no, not like this. This Starbucks is the greatest thing ever. He goes, have you never heard of Starbucks? He goes, yes, in this airport. I've heard of Starbucks.
He was oblivious to all the other Starbucks.
This guy has probably, he saw Stan Kroenke,
Yep.
who's his brother-in-law, and he said, that looks like fun. That guy owns a football team and a stadium, and I want call that Roger Goodell and tell him I want
Mr.
in.
Goodell.
Play it again, Jorge.
Here it is, right now.
I'd like to thank Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell.
Seriously, how have you
And,
not at
we're-
some point heard Roger
Because
Goodell's
he's not
name?
he's not into football. He's probably into finance. He's probably traveling the world on his yachts.
Yeah, by the way, he was chairman of the board for Walmart for a long
Yeah,
time.
so you see, like for example, if you weren't a football fan, would you know how to say Tony Dorsett's name? Wouldn't you see it and go Dorset?
Wow.
Or some
Well,
people say
wasn't
Dorset.
he Dorset at Pitt?
He's the one that
Yeah,
changed it.
Exactly. So
It
if you're
was
not a
Dorset.
football fan, you wouldn't know unless you talked to him or you heard about it.
Commissioner Goodell.
Goodall.
You know what? Want to hear a Tony Dorsett story? So my dad's favorite player was Tony Dorsett.
Right.
Loved him at Pitt. Loved him in the NFL. And so I was auditioning for a college football panel show, like
Right.
Big Noon Saturday or whatever
Yeah,
the hell
yeah,
they're
yeah.
doing. So they're auditioning analysts for me, and the guy that they auditioned was Tony Dorsett. So it was me and Tony Dorsett. And Dorsett, who looked super sharp, he was wearing this kind of eggplant colored suit, looked really cool guy, said, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is not what I'm good at. I'm not good at this. I'm like, you're Tony Dorsett. You're my dad's favorite player. You're
Yeah.
going to get out there and do that. And he actually came through and did pretty well. I did not get the job because I drew the short straw by having Tony Dorsett
Right.
as the panelist, but I did coach him through it.
You know
Was
who
he
was
good?
No.
You know who was
I
out?
think that's why we haven't
Okay.
seen him since.
Two people absolutely horrible at broadcasting.
Okay.
Horrible. And you would think, based on these two guys' careers,
See the issue?
that they would have been can't miss.
Yep.
First one was Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson retired. He went to the network, and he wasn't good. And he said, "I don't like this. I'm not good at." And the
Cookie and I on the Tinder.
Koufax was given. He retired young. He retired when he was 32, 33 years old, and NBC gave him the lead analyst job. And he got out there and he had nothing to say.
Wow.
And he just said, "Yeah, I'm out.
So,
I don't want to do it."
Yeah, sometimes people, even though you're famous, some people don't know how to pronounce your name. I'll never forget one night I was in Portland watching the late night sports news, and Johnny Unitas had just died.
Right.
And the sports lady came on there. She was a well-known sports lady. She used to follow the Blazers, so she was around sports, and she said, sad news in the NFL today, Hall of Fame quarterback Johnny Unitas just passed away.
Unitas, sure.
Unitas.
Unitas. Well, that's reminiscent. Are we going for the same story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
It's a whole reel,
Right.
by the way.
Okay, so there was a woman who was anchoring at Fox Sports, and they were all over her about knowing that ERA is earned run average. You have to know those letters, 2.13 ERA, right? And so she finally learned how to do ERA and said it the right way. Then she said, Jimmy Connors, the greatest tennis player of his ERA.
Because they had conditioned her to say,
That's great.
yeah. And they said the same thing when you see the letters, like Mason's got a Dodger hat on, and it says L.A., and Pat LaFontaine, the hockey player, retired one year, and it's like the lead story. And she was doing the National. And this girl was beautiful. That's one of the reasons why they gave her the gig. She really looked great on camera. And so they had conditioned her. They said, if you see L.A., say L.A. That's short for Los Angeles. Don't say La. So sure enough, next night, Pat LaFontaine retires, and she goes, she's reading. She goes, any hockey fan will tell you that one of the New York Islanders' greatest players of all time is Pat L.A. Fontaine.
That works. I like it.
Oh, God,
And
what I wouldn't do for
I
this
knew the
guy.
guy. They hired a guy, a sports guy, to be
is
like
so
assigned
funny.
to her to produce her. And they told her, "Look, if she fails, you're fired."
Oh, that is
and
awesome.
he just buried his head on the desk and went, "I can't. What am I
Pat
gonna?"
L.A.
Hey,
Fontaine.
you
Yeah.
go by that.
Yeah, greatest tennis player of his ERA. All right. You know what we totally forgot? Ireland, why didn't you remind me?
About?
Lie of the day.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, it's your
Okay.
lie today. So we're starting right now.
What are we giving away?
We are giving away, if you figure out today's lie of the day, call in at 3:30, get it right, you will join me, Travis, Sliwa, Bergman, Jorge, and Jacob Abrani at a luxury suite Tuesday night at LAFC. So again, pay attention for the lie of the day. Ireland is going to tell that today. Yesterday's lie, by the way, I thought was one of the better lies I've ever had.
Yeah. What was it about?
A totally made-up baseball prospect.
Oh yeah,
Including
I was
statistics.
surprised that guy got it.
Like
Yeah.
a Sid Finch kind of guy?
Yeah,
Right.
like a Sid Finch kind of guy, exactly.
Well, we were having a conversation
By the way,
about
does
would
anybody-
you have traded? Well, who would you have included if you traded for Soto? And Mason said the guy I would not include. What did you call him?
Bobby Diego.
Bobby Diego. He's 10-1 with a 1.29 ERA.
Wow.
I would not put Bobby Diego in the deal. Bobby Diego was a complete lie. He completely made
I
it
like
up.
the name, though.
Yeah, it's a
Sounds
good
like
name.
a picture.
Good
Yeah.
name.
By the way, anybody tweeted about my jokes and they loved it?
Oh my God, my timeline is full, Michael. Oh, with praise and love.
Just
and-
call me the Black Fluffy.
All right, we have a new follower.
I love Fluffy.
A new Twitter follower,
Okay.
Greg. You know what his Mason, what his name is?
No.
Million Legs Greg.
Million legs.
Yesterday during Game of Games, Mason said,
Millipede.
"How many legs does a millipede have?" And Bergman goes, "A million." He thought an animal had a million, and it was the tiebreaker.
It was not a good guess.
Was it
how-
closest to
Way to
a
put
number
this.
or something?
How many legs does a millipede have? The average millipede. And Greg said, I'll say a million.
Well,
million
million, you know,
legs.
it makes sense in my brain.
All right, Hooper's X says Champagne and Nuts just told the absolute best worst joke
There you go.
ever
I like
on
it.
Mason and Ireland.
It's a really good bad joke.
Really good bad joke.
It's a really good bad
This
joke.
one was actually for you, John. It's about me, but it's for you. The young boy always hurt forever said, I kept thinking you were looking for an Aries and not an heiress.
Well, if
that's
she's
right.
if she's an Aries and she has a trust fund, she's in.
Right.
Still in.
Okay.
Gregory wants
Still
to
in.
marry an Aries. So if you were an Aries, is it right? It's Aries?
No, heiress.
Oh, heiress.
Heiress.
Okay. Coming up next for you, going to spin the wheel of questions plus why you shouldn't always trust the first expert who comes along. Got an example of that. Mychal Thompson hanging out today. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Wheel of Questions is presented by our friends at Puente Hills Toyota. Got a car that's just sitting around not being used? Bring it to Puente Hills Toyota today for an instant cash offer. Puente Hills Toyota, the house of yes. Producer Jorge, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it.
All right, Wheel of Questions time. Here is the question. Mychal Thompson hanging out. So, the next thing you drink is the only thing you will drink for the rest of your life. What do you choose to drink?
It's got to be water. I mean, as much as
Just
I
straight
love,
up water?
much as I love champagne and I love beer,
No
and
Camus,
wine,
no
yeah, you can't
nothing.
survive without water.
Yeah, so
it's
just
gotta
straight
be
up water?
So you can just say other than water. So other than
Yeah, if
water.
it's other
Okay,
than
other
water,
than water.
I'm going iced tea.
Yeah.
For me, it would have to. I love champagne so much, but I guess coffee.
Coffee?
I love coffee.
Coffee's gross.
No,
I hate coffee.
really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh man, it's nothing
I
like a
hate
good
it.
cup
I
of
make
coffee in the
myself
morning.
chug a big Trenta
Yeah.
cup of coffee every day just to get a little jolt coming into the show,
Yeah,
but
I
I
love-
do not like the taste of it.
Yeah, I love wine. I love champagne. I love beer, but I can't live without coffee. And I don't drink. I only drink like 1 cup a day.
Really, that's it.
Yeah, 1 big cup. That's
So
it.
for you, it would be
Coffee.
Coffee. For you,
Iced
it would be
tea.
iced tea. Bergman, what about you? Next thing you drink will be the last thing you ever drink.
other than water.
I'm gonna
Other
go get a
than
cup
water.
of coffee. I'm with you, Michael. I need my coffee. I need 2 cups of coffee a day, and if I can go a little bit more, that's fine.
Jorge?
Coffee.
Yeah,
Really? Everybody's
yeah.
had coffee.
Yeah.
So here's the truth about coffee. I used to be a real coffee sort of fanatic, and I realized that I just don't like the taste of it at all.
Well, you must have bad coffee.
No, I mean Starbucks at home. One makes coffee, brews coffee, all that.
Wow.
Don't like. And when I'm not
Maybe if you
working-
got coffee at that airport where the owner went.
Oh,
the
that's
day-
right.
you know.
What do you put in your coffee, or what did you put in it?
I put in oat milk and stevias.
Well, that's your problem right there.
Don't
you
tell
gotta
me
put,
what my problem is.
That's
Who are
right.
you to say what my problem
You got to put in
is?
half and half, and sugar in the raw. Oh, it enriches the flavor so much. You got to try it, Mace. Go home tonight, have Julio make you some coffee, and try it.
Yeah, there's no chance.
I mean,
of
I
got
that
put
got-
cinnamon in
happening.
it.
You got any half and half at home? You got any
Putting
sugar in the raw?
cinnamon in your-
Cinnamon and a little brown sugar. Yeah.
Oh God.
Try it, Mace.
Drink it black.
Not happening.
It's the only way to drink
Not
it.
happening.
You drinking black,
Black.
Bergman?
Yeah.
For me, it would be somewhere I've got it. Right there.
Yeah.
This hibiscus tea stuff I drink all the time.
So that's your go-to.
Yeah, no caffeine. No caffeine. That's just
Is it
straight
sweet?
up herbal. I sweeten it, yeah. It's good. It's good. All right, so there you have it. There's your wheel of questions. Okay, now I'm going to do this thing, and I want you guys to react. I think I'm doing it right. You guys will tell me if I'm doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Yesterday, thank you. Yesterday, Rick Bucher told this story.
Ben Simmons, they're having a team chat before Game 4, thinking he's going to play against the Boston Celtics. And from what I'm told, Ben just left the chat. They asked him, are you going to play? Ben left the chat. Like, he didn't even answer the question, just left the chat. And Katie's like, this is what I signed up. Like, this is who I'm playing with?
No, I like
Simmons.
Rick Bucher, but I heard from Sham.
Okay, I was just gonna play that for
Yeah,
you.
he said that's a bunch of bunk, but play it.
Here is Shams Charania.
I got a text from this guy last night, okay, after I put a tweet out.
That's Pat
I
McAfee.
dabbled into the NBA world, into the rumors world, into the story world on Twitter, and it was a story from Rick Bucher.
Oh, Boucher.
Rick Bucher went on to Colin Cowherd's the Herd yesterday, and he basically, in passing, told a story that the team had asked Ben Simmons to play in that Game 5 against the Celtics or something like that in the playoffs, Game 4 against the Celtics in the playoffs. And the team, this is not the coach or the GM or anything, the team did that. And Ben Simmons didn't even answer. He just removed himself from the group text.
Yikes.
One of the most hilarious things I've ever heard in my life. Now, I was being presented as if this was a real story from a real insider in a position of professionalism as telling a story. Said it as a joke, but told the story as somebody that was insider. Didn't get the full conversation. That's on me. I get a text from Shams, goes, we have to talk about this tomorrow. Shams, you're telling me that this awesome, legendary thing happened and it went a little differently? Like he gave a response like, guys, I'm really hurt. You. And then he left? Or did this whole thing is a big fugace?
Pat, I just said I just need to be on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say on this is this never happened.
Whoa.
Never
Bucher? You're calling Bucher a liar?
Never happened. And
I don't think
Ben
he's
Simmons actually, yeah, I'm gonna do some more.
He's
I'm
ruining my
I'm
movie.
gonna give Ben Simmons some love here. From everything I've been told, he is doing more on the floor. He's looking good.
Hope so.
I think the Nets have high expectations for Ben Simmons next year. You talk about a guy, 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA guy. I think that there are high expectations for Ben Simmons. He's supposed to be ready for training camp here in a month and a half, and so he's doing more and more on the
Okay,
court.
so the point of that is, do we believe every insider report? Because obviously there was one insider who said, and now maybe he was joking, I don't know, that Ben Simmons exited the group chat, and then Sham says never happened. Why do we trust these guys?
Because they can make up anything when it's anonymous. I've been trying to tell you that. I can say anything and tell you it's anonymous. I got it from an anonymous source. I could be completely making it up. How are you going to prove I'm wrong or right?
Well, why do you believe Shams? He's dealing with anonymous sources too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it sounds like he's dealing directly with Ben Simmons.
Or Ben Simmons or his people. Now, here's the thing. You can throw around, like, we're not newsbreakers here. You're never going to get inside information from me, at least. John won informative host of the year at the Mandy Awards, but I'm just me. So you're never going to get anything, any takeaway from me in terms of what I think is going to happen or what insiders are telling me. But you tend to put your faith in guys who say, here's what happened. And in this case, it just didn't happen.
Somebody probably told Bucher it happened.
Right, and the ramifications are, everybody heard that story yesterday, and it reflects badly on Ben Simmons, and people are going to hear that story more than they hear what Shams said. Do you agree with that, Ireland?
Yeah, once the story's out there, it's very hard to put the genie back in the bottle. But you make
Especially
a
if
good.
it's hard of hearing.
But you make a good point. Every insider who's throwing stuff on a wall to see what sticks is not always correct.
Right.
You've got to assume that
Now,
unless
I'll take Woj and Shams to the bank.
Yeah, they seem to be really.
what happens if they disagree on a story?
Are there instances of that?
Sure.
There are.
Yeah, like who?
I'm an ESPN guy. I take Woj.
Well, it depends who their source is.
Sure.
Really.
You can often tell the person's source by the way the story gets reported, right? Because clearly that was somebody on Team Simmons or Camp Ben that was telling Shams to counterattack that particular story.
Like, how do we know Kevin Durant told Joe Tsai, the owner, to fire the GM and the coach? How do we know that Kevin Durant said that? That's what's going on out there.
It's interesting. If Mychal, here's one thing, and maybe I shouldn't assume this, but Durant and his business partner Rich Kleiman own a media company. Mm-hmm. There have been no rebuttals to these reports at all. Durant's very active on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Mason had a story where he took some guy down on Twitter just because he could, and he's had every chance to refute it.
That's true. Good point.
And he hasn't refuted. So does that mean we can assume it's true, or is that a leap too far?
I think we can assume it's true. I think there's enough there.
I know if somebody came out and if I
say
privately
anything
said
formally?
I don't want to work with Greg Bergman or Amanda Brown, either fire them or fire me or trade me, and then the next day I came out and said nothing,
you would assume that you did say that.
Right.
Because you didn't correct the record.
Yeah, I would say, look, I'm friends with Greg and Amanda. I never said that. That's ridiculous. He didn't do that.
Right.
But then again, he hasn't talked at all. Durant hasn't talked at all. So should I just assume he's never going to talk and we should wait until he does? I don't know.
I was hanging out in the Bahamas with Kyrie's father, Dedrick.
Oh, yeah?
What does he think's going to happen?
Ooh, I'll tell you off the air.
All right, no. We'll talk. Actually, we will talk a little Kyrie next, not giving away.
And Shams had some stuff to say about Kyrie, too.
Exactly. Shams has some Kyrie stuff we got coming back next. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Rick Butcher.
The fun way to drive home.
710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
It is Mason and Ireland your Wednesday afternoon.
The John Mason and Steve Ireland radio show.
Don't forget, up ahead, 2:45 this afternoon, Bobcat with Corporate Greg. And at 3:45, Game of Games presented by our friend CallJacob.com. That's all ahead, Mason and Ireland your Wednesday on 710.
I have an update on the
Duran Appreciation Day.
On the John Mason, Steve Ireland story. Did you hear about this, Michael?
John Mason, Steve Ireland.
So yesterday, in the LA Times, they wrote an article about Bob Miller and his relationship to Vin Scully and how much they respected and rooted for each other. And Helene Elliott, the Hall of Fame writer.
Close personal friend.
Well, I've known Helene for 20 years. And we always say hi to each other. And in the story, she wrote, years ago, when the Kings won the Stanley Cup, Bob Miller and his wife Judy went in studio with John Mason and Steve Ireland, and Vin called in to congratulate him. And I'm like, what in the world? I go, Helena said hi to me for years. And
Does she say the right name? Does
she says, hi, John.
She says, hi, John.
So she
thinks your last name is Mason.
She thinks my name is John Mason. So, and I'm also friends with Helene's husband, Dennis D'Agostino, who is the historian for the Knicks. He lives in L.A., but he worked for the Knicks for years. If you ever have a Knicks question, you go to him. So I get this random text last night, 6 o'clock. First of all, it's been fixed online and will be corrected when it's in the paper this week. And I write back, we had a lot of fun with that today. And he said, second of all, the desk made the screw up. Helene, and this makes total sense. Okay. Helene originally submitted Mason and Ireland, and some copy editor at the desk put the first names in.
There you go.
And then he says, Michael, you'll appreciate this. Now to a more important matter. How much better will Isaiah Hartenstein make the Knicks?
Wow. I like that. By the way, John Mason. I like that name. John
Mason.
John Mason.
There was an actor named
No, there was a character.
James Mason.
Yeah, there was
a
character in a movie named John Mason, but I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody else.
That's a good strong name.
Sounds much more manly than John Ireland, doesn't it?
John Ireland was one of Hollywood's big guns.
One of Hollywood's big guns.
In more ways than one?
Yes. Well, he was famous for his same thing Milton Berle was famous for.
For the 12-inch pianist?
Pianist, exactly.
Yes.
All right. So now Shams, we just played.
Right. By the way, after we just blew up the idea of insiders know everything and they're always right and all that stuff, let's go to Shams with an update on Kyrie Irving and what the plan is right now.
The back surgery. Kyrie Irving, he'll remain at the Nets?
So, I mean, right now, Kyrie, he opted into his contract. He's committed to the Nets, and from everything I've been told, he's been doing everything behind the scenes. When you think about leadership, when you think he's worked out, he's worked out with teammates. This offseason, continuing to have those conversations with Sean Marks, Steve Nash. From his side, he's entering the last year of his deal. There's not really much of a place for him to really rock the boat. I think what you're going to see from Kyrie Irving is just a level of high professionalism, and I think that's what he's shown since he's opted in. Now, the other side is this. Him and Kevin Durant are very close. This is something that everyone knows. And I think at the end of the day, whatever Kevin Durant wants to do, go through with the trade requests, have feelings this way or that way, he's going to always support Kevin Durant as a friend and his happiness. But as far as, where this leaves him in the Nets, I think whether Kevin Durant is traded or not, I think, Kyrie Irving has an opportunity to still be a Net. And I think the likelihood is still that right now the plan is for him to stay a Net going into training camp in the season. These things can always change, but I don't believe as this stands right now, if Kevin Durant's traded, it's a foregone conclusion that Kyrie Irving's traded. I think that it's really going to be about how these conversations keep going.
So he says even if Durant gets traded,
Kyrie
it doesn't mean Kyrie would get moved. But it kind of goes against what Sean Marks said at the end of the season. Okay. Sean Marks had a press conference.
General manager for the Nets.
Yeah, and he said, we want people that want to be here. We want accountability. We want dependability. We want people who are going to show up. And that was all code for Kyrie not getting vaccinated screwed us. He wasn't available. He was never here. And so if Kyrie's still unvaccinated and that limits his ability to come to practice or play in the games, I think that would figure into all of this.
Well, he won't. The only games he'll miss now, it's the Toronto games. He's free to play everywhere else.
Right.
Right, just Toronto.
And
Just
Kyrie,
Canadians, yeah.
I mean, I think they will still eventually trade him, but you don't have to worry about his effort this year, Mace, because he's auditioning. He's doing a job interview.
Oh, that's
for
a good
other
point.
Teams. This is his last year of his contract. He's 31, I believe, and his game is going to transition well as he ages because he plays on the ground. So he wants a 4-year deal, maybe a 5-year deal for like $200 million. So he has to ball out all-star style this year to get that long-term deal.
I'm not big on the Lakers getting Kyrie. I mean,
well, they may not get him.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, when I hear the other names that are floating around, I feel like some of those other names would
Like
be
who? Who's floating around?
Oh, Eric Gordon, Buddy Hield,
Couple of Bahamians, Michael.
I love him. Don't get me wrong.
Pat Beverly,
but Kyrie's a transcendent.
Jordan Clarkson coming back. There are like a bunch of names that are floating around out there that are possibles. Miles Turner.
Yeah, good players, all good
Yeah.
players. But Kyrie's like a transcendent. How do you say that?
I know, but here's
transcendent.
So
Yeah,
here's what
he's
I
amazing,
say.
man.
I say that I can imagine the moment. Everybody says get Kyrie now. There's going to come a point in the middle of the season where everybody says, "Damn, why did we get Kyrie? Why did we? Why did we do this?"
He has to be on his best behavior this year, and he's got to show everybody he's still that all NBA type player because he's like I said, job interviewing for next year.
And I think that if he had an opportunity to play with LeBron and AD, that he would wake up.
Yeah, and that would put the Lakers. Now they're not going to be better than the Warriors, but that would put them right up there the rest of the Western Conference if they could get a player like him.
So
a lot of ifs.
A guy named Mark Pratt, because I like to let the Twitter world into the show a little bit. He sent a very detailed trade proposal.
All right, Mark, let's hear it.
Okay. Lakers trade Russell Westbrook, THT, Kendrick Nunn, 2026 draft swap option, 2027 first-round pick, 2029 first-round pick to Brooklyn for Kyrie, Seth Curry, and Joe Harris. Total salary, $62.55 million to Brooklyn, $64 million to the Lakers. Does work in the trade machine.
Why would Brooklyn do it?
We got a lot of picks.
Get a lot of picks, yeah, a lot of first-round picks. That
We got a young player in Tucker. And Nunn's
Westbrook and expiring.
Yeah, Nunn's a good player, but I tell you, that'd be a great trade for the Lakers. Get
Be a great trade for the Lakers.
Two shooters.
Yeah,
and a
but
dynamic
this
player.
isn't. I'm glad you brought this up
This
because
is
it's
Mark Pratt.
Yeah, Mark, thank you for sending that in. Here's the thing. What Michael just said is 100% true. It would be a great trade for the Lakers, but the Lakers are only it takes two to tango. The other team has the asset that you want. They control this.
Well, like they get salary cap relief, they get a good young player in Tucker, and they get a bunch of first-round picks for the future.
And what's been reported, and again, this goes back to Mace, the point you made about who's telling the truth and who isn't. But what's been reported is that the Nets have no interest in Russ, so you'd have to get a third team to take Russ in order for that whole thing to work.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody has although I came across an interesting nugget today. You guys can react to this. There was an article in the Athletic. I'm pretty sure the Athletic. No, it's Kurt Hyland from Yahoo Sports.
Okay.
He says first-year head coach Darvin Ham will implement and stick with an offense run through Anthony Davis.
Good.
LeBron James has concurred. The team has been encouraged with Davis's offseason progression and believe he'll be in optimum shape to avoid serious injuries and carry a heavier load. The team is also, get this, hopeful for a corner three shooting percentage bump from Russell Westbrook next season.
Well, let me address the first part of this, because if you've ever listened to Michael and I do a game, well, Michael beats this drum, and I don't understand why they don't listen to you. Get Anthony Davis's butt in the post and give him the ball.
Yeah.
He's Mace. He's unguardable. His back to the basket game is insane. We did a game last year in Philadelphia, and Anthony Davis was healthy. Go look up the stats of this game in Philadelphia last year. Lakers at Sixers.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid having an MVP season.
Yep.
Comes out against Anthony Davis and could not check him. Could not stop him. Joel Embiid, who is an elite defensive player.
Yep.
Michael, you've said Joel Embiid might be the most skilled big man ever to play the game.
Yep.
And AD, not only was he not scared of him, do you remember how he just took him to school?
Oh, yeah.
And we looked at each other and went, what in the world is stopping the Lakers from doing this every single game?
And Anthony Davis stopping himself from doing it.
Right. And Michael said, Ireland. Go do it next time down the court.
Yeah.
And for one night, they did.
Yeah.
They kept giving the ball to Anthony Davis and saying, "Hey, make them stop you." And they weren't used to sending help for Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid's so good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And Davis just torched him.
Yeah.
That's where that came from, where this story you just read from.
Right.
Darvin Ham probably looked at that game tape and went, we're going to make the defense adjust to Anthony Davis. And by the way, the second you double AD, LeBron will kill you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so I hope that report is right.
So Anthony Davis had 31 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 4 blocks.
What did Embiid have?
Embiid had a bad game. Davis killed him on defense.
I remember this game. Yeah, he had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal.
But didn't he shoot like 50
blocks.
times to get those 26?
9 of 20.
There you go.
And what was AD from the field, Greg?
14 of 21.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, why? And this is something Michael's really good at bringing out. If something's working like that, why do you go away from it?
Yeah.
Right.
Why? I mean, Anthony Davis is that good. When he's Michael, I think people forget because AD's been so unavailable. Yeah. And Charles Barkley nicknamed him street clothes and all that stuff. If he's right, Mace, if he's 100% healthy, I'm not kidding. He might be the best big man in the whole NBA. He might be better than Jokic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he has.
And
overall, he is because he can play defense.
And Jokic is an unbelievable player.
Oh, yeah. Best passer in the game. Best big man passer ever.
Ever.
Michael and I have done at least 6 games in Denver where Jokic has wanted absolutely nothing to do with AD.
Yeah.
AD will get around him and block his shots, and if Jokic tries that crazy back to the basket, back him in, turn around, and AD won't move.
Yeah.
We'll just stand, and he's got those long arms.
Quick feet to deal with him.
And here's the thing that people forget about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, his sophomore year in high school, Mace, was 6'1".
Wow.
He grew 9 inches between his sophomore and senior year of high school. He was on a terrible high school team in Chicago. And John Calipari came and watched him play and went, oh, my gosh, that kid doesn't know. He has the skills of a guard.
Yeah. Right.
And by the time he got to Kentucky, you had a guy with guard skills who was 6'10". His 1 year at Kentucky, they won the national championship. Then he became the number 1 pick in the whole draft. Yeah. He is so underrated. And people, I understand that part of your legacy is your availability. Michael, that's what made Kareem so great, is that Kareem was always available. But he's played more games. Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George all got here in the same year.
Right.
Anthony Davis has played more games than either one of the other two. They just play for the Clippers, so no one cares.
Right.
No one's calling Kawhi street clothes because no one watches the Clipper games.
Right.
Anthony Davis is under a microscope, but if he's healthy and if he's right, that story you read at the start of this segment is incredibly encouraging.
Well,
that they're going to run. LeBron's going to give the ball to AD
and let the offense
and
run
say,
through him.
All right, if you don't double him, he's going to score 50. And the second you double him, I'm going to kill you.
I hate when people exaggerate and say no one watches the Clippers games because that's not entirely true, Ireland.
No, there's about 20,000 people.
Yeah, 20,000 people watch. in an area of 10 million, 20,000 watch.
Yeah.
Chuck the
Duck.
Duck.
Ratings actually go down because all their fans are in the arena.
Yeah.
Hey, we love you, Clippers.
No, we don't. No, we don't. All right, I want to tackle the second part of that, the Westbrook piece of that. Plus, Brad Pitt has got a blank list. People he just refuses to work with ever again because they've been difficult.
Really?
Yes.
I would have. You and I should make a blank list.
We should do
Are you
a
going to
blank
give us
list.
like these famous people?
He did not. Well, I'll tell you next. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
On your Wednesday afternoon, yes, yesterday on the show, another great corporate Greg moment.
How many legs does the average millipede have? Start with Bergman.
Could do some math doing that.
Well, what's
a millipede?
What millipede math are you going to do? Just take a shot, dummy.
It's not rocket science. Just make a guess.
Make a guess.
$1 million. I said $1 million.
Okay, saying $1 million?
$1 million. Okay, I think you should go one leg.
No, a millipede.
A millipede. Yeah, one.
The correct answer is 400. Yes.
You just never know when they're going to pop up, right? More of Mason and Arno in your Wednesday on 710.
I'm sticking with the million, man.
Say,
I'm
make
sticking
a
with the
pick,
million.
dummy.
That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Shows it. I'm sticking with it.
All right, so let me tackle the other part of this. Mychal Thompson's hanging out today, and we're doing a little Lakers here. So, Russell Westbrook. We talked about the offense. There's a little Duran.
Yeah.
Duran Appreciation Day. So, LeBron, Rich Paul sat down, according to Yahoo Sports' Chris Haynes. One of the things they talked about, and we talked about the offense running through Anthony Davis. The other thing they said is the team is hopeful for a corner three shooting percentage bump from Russell Westbrook next season. Here's what's interesting about that. Russell Westbrook shot 51 corner threes last year. Made 23 of them. He shot 45% from three from the corners. 5 for 15 from the right corner, 18 for 36, 50% from the left corner. But will Russell Westbrook accept that as a role, being the guy that hangs out in the corner waiting for the ball?
Yes, you convince him. Listen, I'm the coach. I'm Darvin Ham. Matter of fact,
why couldn't Frank do it?
Because Frank's a nice guy. You can't be this. You can't be nice. You can't be diplomatic in this situation. You're thinking about the team. Russell Westbrook, you're still a good player. You're still an all-star level player, but we need you to come off the bench and be the playmaker when LeBron sits down. When LeBron sits out to the 6-minute mark, that's when you come in and you run the show. Because when you and LeBron on the floor, unless you just want to go stand on the weak side and let the ball come to you, but if you want to be more active with the ball, more interactive, then you run the show when LeBron sits out. LeBron's not going to play 35 minutes a game. He's probably going to play 28, Russ. You're going to have the ball in your hands a lot, but we need you to come off the bench. Other great players, and they're later in their careers, have made this adjustment. That doesn't mean you're not the backup quarterback. That doesn't mean you're going to sit over there all game long and just hold the clipboard. You're going to be in there in prime time minutes, but we need you to be this player for us coming off the bench.
And, Mace, you asked the question, why would Russ do it?
Yeah, why would Russ do it?
Because he has to. If he refuses to go along with Darvin Ham can't blow this. This is his opportunity to be a head coach.
Absolutely.
And if Russ ignores him like he ignored Frank and doesn't do what Darvin's asking him to do, he could get John Walled.
Yep. But is this not why Russell Westbrook has been in 4 teams?
Right.
It'll
but
be
this
6 years.
Doesn't this feel like if he blows this? If he doesn't do what the coaching staff asks now, he's no longer in control of his own career. He becomes...
Well, he left Oklahoma City to go to Houston, right?
Yep.
Because they wanted to send him to a playoff thing. Oklahoma City's run was over.
Yeah.
So they were nice to him. Presti was nice to him.
And they put him back together with Harden.
And him and Harden were boys. Then he left Houston to go to Washington because they made the switch for John Wall, thinking both teams needed a switch. So it wasn't like he was, like burning down locker rooms in Houston and Washington. And Washington, him and Beal got along fine. When he was there.
And what I would say
why'd
is,
they move him?
Okay,
to get Kuzma and all these other young guys.
Well, because Russ wanted to come play with LeBron and AD to make a super team. But play this out to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, and keep in mind, I'm Russ's biggest fan. I think that Russ is as unique of a player as ever been in the NBA.
He's a competitor, man.
And he plays harder than everybody else. He's just a pleasure to watch. But if Russ doesn't do what they're asking him to do, what happens then?
Yeah, you could get John Wall. You could get benched.
The reason he's going to go along with this is because he has to.
Yeah, he's out of options.
He doesn't want to be out of the league.
Right.
And he doesn't want to, Mace, he's on an exspiring contract.
Right.
He's only 33, and he's always in shape. He could play another 3 years.
He's a freakish athlete.
Yeah.
And that's encouraging, though, what you said. 45% from the corner is really good.
Yeah.
What I've said all along, and keep in mind, I'm like a Westbrook advocate. I've said, you don't need to shoot threes on this team. You don't need to shoot that bank shot from the side of the backboard. You don't need to attack when you have LeBron and AD on the court every time. You need to pick your spots. And I think that they're going to challenge him to try and be on the all-defense team this year. He's got the athleticism. It's just a matter of committing to it. And maybe he will. Maybe he will. I hope so. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, Ham will convince him. Ham's he's
convincing.
He's a man. He's a man's man. He'll convince him.
All right. Let me talk about Brad Pitt here for a second.
Yeah.
So
who does he hate?
Okay. So this is one of his co-stars in Bullet Train, which is his movie that's out right now.
Looks stupid.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Doesn't look stupid, Jorge. We're running out of ideas.
I think it actually looks okay.
You would.
No, I thought you said you heard it was bad.
I heard it was bad, but it doesn't look terrible.
Okay.
Like the other day,
I'm not rushing out to see it, but I don't think it's a disaster.
I was watching the last James Bond movie, No Time to Die. I quit halfway through.
You missed the big ending.
Yeah, just
it's a
so
big
stupid.
ending. Big ending. All right, here's what
got ideas.
Here's what Aaron Taylor Johnson said about Brad Pitt. He said he just wants to bring light and joy into the world and be around people who are there to have a good time. You work with many actors, and after a while, you start making notes. I am definitely not working with this person ever again. Mm-hmm. Brad has this list, too, the good list and the blank list.
Well, who's on the good list?
Or
the bad list?
Did not list anybody.
Then why would he put what's the point?
The point is, if they stuck somebody in here who I didn't have fun with, John, if they stuck it,
no, I want to hear who he doesn't want to work with.
That's not there.
You know,
I can read the article all day. The names
okay,
aren't
you
there.
know who I would refuse to work with
Who?
because he's just intolerable?
Who?
Pepe Mantilla.
Pepe Mantilla.
Well, he's in Mexico City.
Wait, so he's not coming on
No,
today?
he's coming on. He says, I hope the phones work. That's what he told me.
No,
So
but,
we
and
gotta
by
call
the
him
way,
in
in case
Mexico
you
City.
couldn't tell,
That's a long
Pepe
distance
is
call.
the nicest man ever.
Oh, he's
I'm
so
totally
great.
kidding.
He's so great. But I do agree with this sentiment. So let's say Jorge left. This is a terrible idea.
Soon.
Terrible.
Soon.
And they stuck somebody in there who we don't like.
Like who? Dave Singer?
Sure, let's go Dave Singer. They stuck somebody in there we don't like.
Okay.
John, would you stay? If we're not really having, because I wish you guys could see the show some days, because we're all constantly looking at each other, looks, button pressing, all that kind of stuff. Like, this is a really fun team. If they stuck somebody in there who was a loaf, I would have a hard time sticking around.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's always an option. You can always walk away.
John's more tolerable of people's shortcomings than you are. You're
depends on the
Why do you
person.
say that?
Yeah, it depends. It depends what their shortcomings are.
You're high maintenance, Mace.
I'm not high maintenance.
Well, but you're never here, so you would just take a vacation until you got back. And
absolutely.
You would just take more days off.
As many as I can. As many as I can.
You look like the kind of guy who doesn't suffer fools, where Ireland's more tolerable. You remind me of more of Pat Riley.
Well, John obviously suffers fools because of who he works with. He's obviously capable of that. I like fools. I think fools are awesome. So I suffer fools just fine. If it ever got to be not fun, and I understand what Brad Pitt's saying. He's, I don't want to work with jackasses.
Makes sense.
I don't want to work with jerks.
He's got the power to do that.
Yeah.
Where if you're like an up-and-coming actor, actress, then you got no power. You got to work with whoever.
Yeah. All right. Let me get this in here. So there is a betting trend. You know, we always have over-under numbers in the NFL. Mm-hmm. There is an over-under for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that is getting bet like crazy. It is over or under 11.5 wins. Over or under 11.5 wins. Which side do you think is getting hammered right now? Where's all the money going?
I think Tampa Bay is going to win 12 games. So it's right on the – but if I had to bet it.
Well, Rob Gronkowski retired. That's huge.
17 games this year.
17 games, so they would win. They need to go 12-5.
I think people are betting the under.
Yeah, because Gronk retired, so I think they're going to be as good.
I would bet the under on this. I mean, the league is tough.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
You know, Tampa Bay's great, and they'll be in the as Les Snead always says, the tournament. They'll be in the tournament at the end of the day, but I don't see them winning 12 games.
Plus, doesn't Brady have to get old one of these days?
One of these days.
Yeah.
Max Kellerman keeps telling me he's falling off a cliff.
That was 5 years ago.
Has he fallen off that cliff yet?
He's not going to do it this year.
Yeah, Max keeps beating that drum, doesn't he?
He's going to be 45, Bergman. You don't think one of these...
It doesn't matter. Like, look what's in this division. The Saints, Falcons, and Panthers. I mean, are any of those teams going to be that good. Maybe the Saints.
They play those guys 8 times, right?
Well,
Twice?
6 times. They play them each twice.
Right, 6 times each, 2 times.
So you figure that's 5-1 at worst?
I know the Rams. I know we play them. I know the Rams have got Tampa Bay on the schedule. Tampa Bay. But here's another weird one. Okay, so Vegas right now, there is a prop bet, I guess. Team most likely to be the last undefeated team in the NFL.
Okay, let me take a guess at this.
Okay.
I don't think it's the Rams, and I don't think it's Buffalo because they both have to play each other in Week 1.
Yes.
What about
So
the Chargers?
it's either I think it's either Green Bay or Baltimore.
The Ravens?
Green Bay.
Not with that defense.
10-1, 6th best pick. What was your other one?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
16-1, 12th best pick.
Huh.
Michael, what did you say again?
Kansas City?
Yeah, but the Chiefs?
No, not Kansas City.
I said the
They're-
Chargers.
they're
the Chargers?
They say the Chargers are the team that is most likely to be the last.
They must have
undefeated
They must have
team
an easy
in the
schedule.
regular season. You know, I pulled up their schedule. They're 5-1, by the way. Tampa Bay is the second pick at 6-1. Buffalo is third at 13-2. Rams down at 14-1. Rams have just a beast of a schedule. Could start the season for all intents and purposes with a loss. So here's the Chargers schedule. Tell me if they're going to run this table. They are. It's Raiders opening week.
So that's a loss right there.
In Vegas? Or
Let me.
here? It doesn't matter because all the Raider fans going to be in SoFi anyway.
Right.
Even if they're here.
It'll be a Raider home game no matter where they play.
Yeah. Chargers at Chiefs.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. They're not winning that game.
Wouldn't think.
In
Chargers
Kansas
home,
City?
Chargers home to the Jaguars, at the Texans, at the Browns. I think that's the
3-0.
That's the part that gets
Yeah.
them. And then Broncos at Chargers.
Oh, it's 4-0. Keep going.
You're not high on the Broncos.
Not at all.
I think the Broncos are going to be
Not
pretty
at-
good.
not-
They got a
not-
good defense, and I
not
think Russell
at-
Wilson's a great quarterback.
Not at the Chargers. So okay, that's 4-0. Who they
At the
play?
Browns, home Broncos at home, Seattle at home,
Okay, it's 5-0.
at Atlanta,
6-0.
Yeah.
at the 49ers.
I would pick them to lose, but they might be favored.
And then the Chiefs again this time at
Yeah, they just
SoFi.
have an easy first 6-7 games.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the first couple are tough, and then it gets really easy because they go. If you look at their schedule, they go Raiders, pretty tough. Chiefs, Jaguars gets easy. Texans gets easy. Browns gets easy. Broncos, you think gets easy. Seattle gets easy. Atlanta gets it. Yeah, they've looked at these schedules.
Yeah.
I can see it. If they can beat the Chiefs in week 2, they
Yeah.
might be the last standing team. Do you think we're going to get any Chargers on the show this year?
Do you want them?
Yeah, they'll come on when you're not here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't understand that.
Well, because he's heard your opinion of them.
Yeah, I just don't think. I mean, I totally like Justin Herbert. I think he's a great
Yeah.
quarterback. Wouldn't mind if he was my fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
They're that upset. They're that sensitive just because Mason makes fun of them.
Well, yeah, because Mason hangs up on anybody who brings up the Chargers.
Although it's mostly the Clippers.
Or the Clippers.
The Clippers
Yeah.
I hang up on.
Yeah. Should be the Chargers, though.
No, Chargers are nice enough.
Yeah.
I think
They're
they'll
like
be
the
pretty
Rams'
good.
little brother.
They are. They are.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next for you, I've got Kelly Olynyk with the weirdest wedding look I've ever
Is it his wedding?
seen. It is his wedding.
He's Canadian.
Okay.
What do you expect?
And I want you guys to think about this. Yesterday was actually National Book Lovers Day. Recommend one book.
Okay.
Recommend one book. Michael, you have those, right?
Michael
Maybe
reads
not.
newspapers primarily.
Pop-up book?
I think I read one book in my life.
Get out of here.
Jaws.
We'll do that coming up next for you. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Afternoon. Been a while since I reminded you to download the all-new 710 ESPN app. That's right. If you haven't done it yet, just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play. Download, tap, and bam! You got Mason and Ireland in the palm of your hand. Corporate Greg hates the BAM still. Mason and Ireland rolls on right now.
So easy that Mom and not Stepdad Leo can use it.
And I do still hate the BAM. It just, every time,
Bam!
It gets me. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Bam!
Yeah, just too much.
It's a little... Boy, I'll tell you what, Duran Duran still sounds good. Do you think you could release a Duran Duran record today and it would be a hit all over again?
Yeah, but they were kind of like a comet. Like, I remember I went to a concert once, and it was a Phil Collins concert.
Okay.
And Duran Duran opened for him. And you know who else was on that that bill? Spandau Ballet. Remember
I
them?
just heard that song today. Our housekeeper's coming over, and she loves the soft rock, and we heard
But
True.
like, right. So it's like Spandau Ballet for 4 songs, Duran Duran for 5, and then Phil Collins for a long time.
What's the worst concert you've ever attended?
Worst concert?
The one that makes you kind of go, ooh, I'm a little embarrassed I was there.
Oh, I'm not embarrassed because I like their music, but these guys are not performers. They just stand there and play the instruments.
Devo?
No movement.
Devo?
No, worse than Devo. The Cars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
but they're
Rick
great.
Ocasek. They would
yeah.
just stand there.
But they're great, though.
Yeah.
They are great.
Yeah.
Just
Pride of
what I
Bowling Green-
needed. And they don't, there's no show.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so
So-
Pride of Bowling Green State University.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's a legend.
Yeah, the worst one I ever went to was the Thompson twins.
What? I love those guys.
Opening for Howard Jones, who was a thing then, into Rick Astley.
What's wrong with the Thompson
Into
twins?
Rick Astley.
Into Rick Astley.
Never gonna give you
Oh,
up.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
him, yeah. He's a weasel. But the other two are cool.
He's a
He's a
weasel.
weasel. Why is he a weasel?
What
You know,
made him a
stupid,
weasel?
that stupid song and that stupid dance. Yeah, Thompson
Who's
twins.
the
They're
Thompson
Thompson
twins?
They're like Depeche Mode, man.
How many,
Yeah.
how
Pet
many
Shop
members
Boys.
of the Thompson twins?
Well, let's see, 4.
3. You were close.
Yeah.
And they're called the Twins?
Yes.
Why wouldn't they be
There
called
used-
the Thompson
There used
Trio?
to be 6 of them, and they were called the Thompson twins. Now there are 3 of them. I assume, well, it's been 20
If
years.
you had a band, what would your band, your name be, Mace? You ever thought of that? You never thought
Never
of
thought of that.
You had a rock band, what would your name
Rock
be?
band.
Ireland, what would yours
give
be?
it-
I've never, I didn't, give me some time. I've
Jorge,
never.
what would yours be?
Hip, hip, hooray.
I like that.
Hip, hooray!
Hip, hip, hooray. I like that.
I
word.
like that.
Yeah, Bergman, what would yours be?
Yeah, I have no idea. I just saw the corporate. I've got nothing.
Okay, this is a
there you
good
go.
name for
There.
a band, and would be a good name if I was the
CGs.
lead singer of the band.
CGs.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Drunken Shamrocks.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good.
I actually like Bergman. The CGs. It's like the
CGs?
Bee Gees,
CGs,
only it's the CGs.
Yes.
Well,
all
look
about
this
it.
look this up, Greg.
Yes.
Dave Grohl had a Bee Gees tribute band.
Really?
Yeah, and they went on. Did was play Bee Gees songs, but I can't remember the name.
The DGs.
The DGs. Okay, and it was Dave Grohl as the lead singer.
Now, did he have the high voice like, what's the name, Gibb? What's Gibb's?
No,
Robin
I think
Gibb?
they just did the
Robin
songs.
and Barry Gibb.
Barry Gibb. Barry
Yeah,
Gibb, yes,
Barry
the lead
Gibb.
singer.
I think he's the one surviving.
Yeah, he's
Gibb
the last
brother.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you guys ever seen? If you go on YouTube and you type in Springsteen Brisbane or Springsteen Staying Alive, Springsteen was on tour in Australia, and somebody said to him, "The Bee Gees grew up 20 minutes from here." He goes, "Really?" Went back to his hotel room, wrote a rock version of Staying Alive.
What?
And opened the show with it.
Wow.
And killed it.
Really? He didn't ruin it?
Yeah, no. Mace, who's the lead guitarist for... Yeah. Okay, so this is Springsteen in Australia, in Brisbane, in 2014. And nobody knew what was happening. And he had a whole, orchestra behind him.
Yep.
And everybody in the band gets a solo during this song. So he's not.
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool.
That's pretty good,
And he had Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine filling in for Miami Steve because he was doing Sopranos.
Yep.
And he had Jake Clemens, Clarence's son playing sax.
Oh, nice.
They all do a solo during the song, and he just blows the doors off.
Oh, that's
the place.
great. Yeah.
So if you're looking for something different and you're a Bee Gees fan, Google Springsteen Staying Alive.
By the way, if you're a Bee Gees fan, you should watch that documentary, which is on HBO.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Lindsay saw it. Lindsay loves documentaries, and she
So
saw it and said it
good.
was great.
They are just amazing, and it's amazing their rise.
Yep.
It's amazing to see how they came up. All right, so yesterday was International Book Lovers Day.
Okay.
So I thought we should each recommend one book that has had an impact on our lives.
All right, so I went back and looked at the books that I've read
Mm-hmm.
over the past couple of years. This was a very interesting book. It's not for everybody. I read Super Pumped, The Battle for Uber.
Yeah, right.
If you want to find out how
Story
they
of
started
Travis
Uber.
Kalanick and
The
those
book
guys?
I just wrapped up now is Hollywood Ending. It's how they finally got Harvey Weinstein and how he got away with it, which is really good news. But I think if I was going to recommend a book for people to read, and it's long, it's 1,200 pages, is read Tinderbox, The History of HBO, and how it started, and what's happened to it now. And now it's going through a ton of changes. But that's James Andrew Miller, the same guy who wrote the book on ESPN, who wrote the book on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Really, really good. So
How
it'd
do
be
you
one of
find
those
time
ones.
to read all this stuff? Because you watch everything on TV. You play
Right.
golf all day. How do you
Right.
find time to read?
What have you noticed about me all these years traveling?
You don't sleep.
Right.
Yep.
There's your
Yep.
answer.
All right, Michael, do you have one book you can
What
recommend?
is the one book you think you read? Jaws is
Jaws.
the one book. I will say this about, although Michael doesn't read books, he is very well read. Michael brings more reading material on the plane than anyone I know.
I love
One
to
of the
read.
reasons why Michael doesn't like people sitting next to him is because that's where he keeps his stacks and stacks of newspapers.
And the iPad has ruined me because instead of reading,
iPad.
I just keep up on all the current and science stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm into more of that kind of stuff than reading books.
Jorge, one book.
The one that changed me was The Alchemist, obviously. But the last one I read was it was called Stealing Home by Eric Nussbaum, and that's basically the story of how they brought L.A., the Dodgers, here to
And the
from
people
Brooklyn.
that were
Yes.
displaced
exactly.
That
That's
was
what this
me.
one is.
when the Dodgers moved
That's an
here.
interesting
Yeah,
book. Yeah,
that's
Stealing Home.
a
yeah.
good one. Bergman.
It's a book called Dark Matter. It's by Blake Crouch, and it's about a guy who kind of is like a physics professor that's very kind of just moving along life, not really too much going on. And he gets hit on the head one day and gets taken into a different world. And so he has to find his way back from the world and goes to a whole bunch of different timelines. He has to find his way back to his wife and to the original
That reminds
timeline.
me of Kelly
It's really
Bundy on Married with Children. She got a bump on the head and she turned into a genius.
Yeah, no, a lot of people.
That's like one of the
A
greatest
lot of
episodes
people
ever.
bring up Married with Children when talking about that book.
Well, that's what kind of reminds me of it.
Matter,
Well,
yes.
have you guys ever read any of Chuck Klosterman's books?
Yeah, he writes. I don't think I've
He
ever
has a
read
book
one.
called
Yeah.
Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs,
Yeah.
which is really interesting. And one of the chapters is, he says you can tell if somebody is a Laker or a Celtic fan within 1 hour of meeting them. And his theory is, if they care about their appearance, if they're wearing a collared shirt, if they have nice sunglasses, Laker fan.
Yes.
If they are wearing a T-shirt and a hard hat and spilled beer all over the
Yep.
place,
Yep.
Celtic fan.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and he goes into all these different things about their personality. If they're laid back and they really don't put up much of a fight, Laker fan. If they make a big deal out of somebody screwing up their order at
Oh, yeah.
McDonald's,
Yep.
Celtics fan. and so if you're looking for, if you're into the Lakers-Celtics rivalry, go back and read that book by Chuck.
So Jorge and I are both on Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, which is
Phil Jackson's favorite book.
one of the great books ever written. But I'll throw this out, and this one helps me with my my dogs all the time. I've got an elderly dog and a dog with congestive heart failure, and there's a book called Art of Racing in the Rain.
Yeah, good book, bad movie, right?
Bad movie.
Yeah.
Bad movie. Actually starred my neighbor, Milo. But, yeah, no, great book. Art of Racing in the Rain, fantastic.
What's it
read
about?
It's about the lifespan of a dog and where they may go when it's all over.
Go?
Yeah, when they may go.
They don't have a soul.
I don't know that. Do you think dogs don't have a soul?
You think there's a dog heaven?
Yeah.
Why would you think a dog doesn't have a
Yeah,
soul?
why would you think a dog doesn't have a soul?
Well, how would you know?
Because only humans have souls.
Well, there's no evidence that humans have
Oh, yeah.
souls either. What's the evidence that
My
humans
wine
have?
was stolen.
It's the Bible.
That's right.
The Bible.
What do you think them ghosts are?
Do dogs
You ever seen a dog ghost?
A soul. That's a really interesting question. Do dogs?
So I was talking to Phil Jackson one day about books, and he said he said, well, you should read Zen Body, Zen Mind. He goes, that'll teach you to live in the moment. He goes, if you want a couple other books about that, he goes, read The Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
That's a fantastic book.
And I went, I don't like motorcycles. He goes, doesn't matter.
It has nothing to do with motorcycles.
So explain to me why.
Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is a fantastic
explain to me why
book.
I would like that book.
Because it is about, it's as I remember this book, it's about a kid going to college, has an accident, ends up hanging around with this guy at a gas station who teaches him the lessons of life. The lessons of life.
It's not like how do I change a clutch on a Harley?
No, it just happens to be.
Have you read this book, Jorge?
I have not, but that sounds interesting.
Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is a classic.
And the other one he said, and this book's like 20 years old now, he said there's a book called The Inner Game of Tennis, the mental aspects of tennis. He said that will help you be more zen.
So, Mychal, this is the best we know about dogs and souls.
Okay.
Dogs do have souls. The word animal itself is derived from the Latin word anima, meaning soul. Theologians, biologists, psychologists, animal communicators, and pet parents have pondered the spirituality of dogs for thousands of years, and it is clear that the essence of a dog is his loving, healing soul. Don't me. Don't.
Only humans have souls.
Over there.
Come on.
All right.
Mychal, did you ever have a dog? I know you take care of Rocco. Did you have a dog growing up?
Yeah, we had a German Shepherd in the Bahamas growing up. Dusty was his name.
Dusty the German Shepherd.
And he was an outside dog. We didn't let him in the house.
Bergman says break because he's got a great Bobcat. So we'll do Bobcat coming up next for you. Mason and Ireland, 710.
It's time for Corporate Greg's Bobcat segment, but first, have you followed Corporate Greg and his new Instagram?
Corporate Greg.
That's right. The other one got hacked. So the new one is corporate_Greg. Follow now, follow often.
Corporate Greg.
But now it is time for that Bobcat.
Bobcat.
It's time for Bobcat.
Bobcat.
Bobcat time. Take it away, Corporate Greg.
Corporate Greg.
Thanks, Chris and Amanda, and thank you, Mason, for the CG. All right, so Kawhi Leonard showed up to the Padres game the other night in full Padres gear.
What?
He's from down there.
He's
Yeah,
from
he's
San
from down
Diego.
I thought he was
went
from
to San Diego State.
Riverside or something.
But he went to San Diego
Went
State.
to San Diego State.
Went to
yeah.
San Diego State. So I totally get it. Do you think, though, that with the Dodgers-Padres supposedly being a rivalry and him already on a secondary L.A. team, that this is a bad look for him?
He doesn't care.
Well, it doesn't matter if he cares. But
I've told this story many times, but since Mychal here, I'll tell it again. Kawhi Leonard is the only person I've ever met in life that I had a whole conversation with, and he never said a word. Here's what happened. Mychal and I are sitting courtside in San Antonio. Kawhi's playing for the Spurs. Kawhi walks over to the table and sticks his hand out to Mychal.
Right.
And Mychal says, "Hey, Kawhi, good to see you, man. I'm proud of you. You're doing great. Clay asked me about you the other day. Say hi to your family for me." He goes, "You know Ireland?" I go, "Hey, Kawhi." I stand up. I shake hands with him. I go,
"Right.
Big fan. Nice to meet you." Nods at Mychal, goes back and starts shooting. Do you remember that?
Really? I sure do. It's like Marcel Marceau.
And he goes, Mychal, he walks over. Mychal goes, "Great kid."
What, Jorge?
I go, "How would you know?"
Why did the mushroom go to the party? Because he's a fun guy.
I like see.
So I don't think Greg Kawhi cares if he gets booed, if on the Jumbotron at Dodger Stadium or anything else.
I'm not asking how he feels.
So you're saying, does it hurt his L.A. cred?
Yeah.
He
LA
has
cred.
no L.A. cred. He plays for the Clippers. Cred is not his thing.
Yikes.
I don't
making
think
it
it
look
hurts
worse.
him at all that he went to a Padres game. Don't we have some...
Wearing Padres gear.
Do we have actual Padres? Like, is Cappy a Padres fan?
I mean, kind of.
I don't think he'll admit it now that he's on in L.A., but I
Right.
think that's his team.
Is Sliwa kind of a Padres
Yeah,
fan?
Sliwa grew up a Padre fan.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he has no L.A. cred, so I'm not worried about it. Take it away. Bobcat.
My button was down.
Bobcat.
All right.
Bobcat.
Pull it up.
Thank you. Let's do it again. So my Fitbit broke, and I need a new watch. I'm thinking about an Apple Watch, but kind of also really like the old school, just regular watches. Which do you prefer, and which is more bang for your buck, since they are all
Bergman?
basically the same expensive?
I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
Mychal, hold up your wrists.
Oh, you're not wearing a watch. Oh, he's got a watch on.
Yeah,
got a watch
Mychal
on.
has a watch on. I don't know anybody who wears a
I'm
watch
not-
regularly.
I'm
Do you
not
wear it every day,
wearing mine.
Mychal?
Every day. I sleep in it, too.
Yeah, I mean, I have an Apple
wears
Watch.
a watch.
I like my Apple Watch a lot. I'm not wearing it today because I'm not tracking steps or anything. But it's good for tracking steps and stuff like that. And when you're on the elliptical or on the bike and you're riding, it'll tell you when you've reached a certain heart rate level, all that kind of stuff. So I do like the Apple thing.
I will say this, Greg. If you're going to invest in a watch, I think it should be with something that does more than just tell time.
Why?
In other words, if you're going to get an Apple Watch, that makes sense to me.
That makes sense.
But if you're just getting something that tells time, Mychal, you always have your phone with you.
Yeah, but every time if you're laying in bed and you want to know what time it is, you got to always reach for your phone
Don't you-
instead of just turning your wrist over, right, Jorge?
Yeah.
Wait,
that's
you
right.
sleep in the what? You never take it off.
Never take it off.
What about when you shower?
Well, it's waterproof, and I take it off when I shower.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I can't sleep in my phone because it needs to be charged. But
Right.
but I do
Isn't it for
like
the
it.
look too. Like, I mean, wearing a watch is part of it's a whole look.
Yeah,
right?
well, you know, look at me.
Yeah.
Look at this. Get a load of this.
I always got to know what time it is, Ireland, don't you?
Do you have? But I know what time it is. It's 2:51.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but you always got to
2:51.
reach. You always got to look for your phone when you
Do
want to know
you
the
have a
time.
Rolex? Do you own one?
No, I used to have the most expensive watch I ever bought was $12,000. I felt guilty, so I resold it for $8,000.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I think a watch. I don't have an expensive watch or expensive sunglasses because I'd be afraid I'd lose them.
Right.
But a lot of people have like Rolexes. Greg, some of them are $100,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I get all my
Not getting
sunglasses,
that.
by the way.
Not
This is a
that
little
kind of
tip for you. All my sunglasses from Rite Aid. Have you been there? Rite
Oh,
Aid? Yeah. They've got a
Surprised you
little
didn't try
thing
and
you
change it.
spin around.
You should do what you do. You should do what you do with Amazon.
Amazon.
You should call it retard.
Retard. That's where I go for my sunglasses. Exactly.
Bobcat.
All right, Jorge, what you got?
Okay, so film director Peter Jackson says he seriously considered hypnotherapy to forget ever working on Lord of the Rings. The
Wow.
reason he decided to do that is because he never got to see the films as
As
what
a
they
fan,
are.
as-
Exactly.
yeah.
So is there something that you guys would want to forget and go through hypnotherapy?
Oh yeah.
What would you
Well, yeah, you 1990
Yeah.
NBA Finals,
My
right?
two finals I lost, and Clay's finals I lost in 16. It just haunts me. Can't get them out of my mind. It just bugs me.
Lakers Celtics 1984 NBA Finals.
Okay.
Lakers were so much better than the Celtics that year, and Boston won it in 7 games. I want that completely gone from my memory.
Just want you to lose.
2017 World Series. Screw the Astros. I would like to have that blocked from my memory forever. By the way, Carlos Correa there last night getting a warm reception from the Dodger Stadium
Also,
crowd.
Mason and I's entire foray into internet radio in the
I would
90s. Mace, we struck too early.
Yeah.
Is what we did. Yeah.
Anything for you, Jorge?
No, you took mine. There's 17.
Bergman, how about you?
1998, UCLA, Miami.
Yeah, 51-45.
you were gonna win the national
I thought you were going to
championship.
say your entire first marriage before Riley was born.
I mean, Riley came out of that, so I have to be okay
So
with
something
it.
good came out of it.
Yeah. I only
You
care
get to
about that
keep
'cause of
Riley, but you
Yes.
forget everything that came out of that first marriage.
God, that sounds wonderful.
What was so wrong? What was wrong with her?
Bobcat.
With
Bobcat.
Bergman's ex-wife? How long you got?
You really want me to go through all of that?
Bobcat. Bobcat.
Let's go to the next one.
Some of it could have been your fault, Bergman.
I'm sure a lot of it was my fault. Sorry, let's kick it off the plan since we don't have a ton of time left here.
Okay.
And this one is directly pointed at you, Mychal Thompson. All right.
All right, so here's how this works. You have to get rid of one of these two things.
Okay.
And the other thing stays, but the thing you get rid of never existed and never comes back.
All right.
Okay, go ahead, Greg.
All right. All in the Family or Sanford and Son?
Oh! Come on, that's not fair.
No, it is. Well,
Next
that's
one.
the whole point.
No, that's why it's hard.
That's
One day he did ketchup or mustard. I know which one of those you'd get rid of.
I love both. All in the Family or Sanford and Son?
Yep.
All
One of them never
God.
existed.
It's like choosing your children. I can't.
You have to. It's the game.
That's the game. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Michael sends me clips from both shows regularly because he, not surprisingly, still watches both.
Wow.
I laugh harder at the Sanford and Son.
Yeah,
clips.
especially when Aunt Esther's on.
Yeah.
But I guess Sanford and Son, because All in the Family was so
Landmark.
Yeah, controversial because it touched on every subject.
Yep.
And it made it funny, but yet very controversial. So I guess Sanford and Son. Oh, that hurt.
I'm doing the same. All in the Family is just like an historic, seminal show in the history of television.
Ahead of its time.
Ahead of its time.
All right, Mace, what if I said to you, Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
You'd get rid of it or keep it?
Get rid of it.
Okay.
Yeah, get rid of it. The ending was terrible.
What would you do? Get rid of it?
Yeah, I think Breaking Bad is...
Breaking Bad's my favorite show of all time.
I think
period.
Breaking Bad is the best acting performance I've ever seen out of a lead actor.
Why are you trying to steal my Kick It Off the Planets? I could have used that tomorrow.
Yeah, come up with something else over there, genius.
Yeah, like Sopranos and something else, and Seinfeld and something.
We've done that.
No.
There you go.
There it is.
The hardest one for me, Greg, would be the equivalent of what you just asked Michael to be, because I couldn't get rid of
West
either one of
Wing
them.
or-
West Wing or Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I couldn't get rid of either one.
You would have to. If
Yeah,
that
you'd have
was
to.
the
So
kick it
choose
off.
one, Ireland. Got to.
I'd get rid of Curb, but it would kill me
Really?
because I
Wow.
would still have Seinfeld, which was like Curb before it was good,
Yeah.
But Curb is Seinfeld on steroids.
By the
Yeah,
way,
it
is
absolutely
Larry
is.
doing another series? Another
Says he is.
Oh, good.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
they're shooting.
Good.
Yeah, they're shooting.
They need to do more than 10, by the way. Do 20.
Larry doesn't
Okay,
want to work that
you know
hard.
what-
Do you know how much money Larry David has? Larry David
know.
has so much money. He doesn't have to be working on a TV
Yeah.
show. He does it because he
All right.
loves it. When he feels like it, he does it.
Okay.
You have one of the Kamenitskis filling for him.
Sure.
So
Sure.
here's a plot for an upcoming Curb. He has to have Leon do something that makes Susie mad, and have Susie go off on Leon.
Oh,
And-
is that a real episode?
No, I'm making it up.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause-
How funny would that
That would
be?
be funny, yeah.
Susie is, but
Susie's the best.
by the way, okay.
She makes
So
that show.
here's I do these occasionally. This is my unsolicited advertisement for the Venice Mace podcast, Culture Pop. Go back, and it was a long time ago, mates. This would be probably in the first 50 you did.
Yes.
You had Susie Essman on.
Yep.
And she tells a story about how when Larry first hired her, she let Jeff have it, and he goes, I need you to double the vitriol, double the hate. You're not being mean. She goes, well, what do you want me to do? Call him a fat F word? He goes, yes.
Yep.
And she goes, well, wouldn't that hurt his feelings? And Larry said, yes. And so the next, the scroll the script said was, Susie is furious at Jeff and is losing her mind. She says, Jeff, you fat F! Where's the doll's head?
That's the greatest
Give me
one.
the doll's head.
The doll's
the
head.
doll's
is
I
head.
want the
classic.
effing doll's head. And she goes, how was that?
Yeah.
And he goes, can you do that every week?
Yeah,
That's great.
I know.
All right, coming up next for you. Interesting. I have a wardrobe question. You guys can probably help me. Yeah, I have a wardrobe question.
Wear the same clothes every day.
Plus, Matt Ryan at where is it? Indy practice now. Got a little mic'd up with Matt Ryan. That's coming up next for you. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Los Angeles sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Wednesday afternoon.
We are ballers. That's exactly right. We are ballers.
Yes, indeed. If you missed yesterday's show, you missed Mace's big surprise for the crew. Cue the music. We play this because a lot of our social media posts have said all eyes on Mason and Ireland. Yes. Go to @ESPN Los Angeles, @Venice Mace. Mace threw down the chains for the crew.
Oh my gosh, it's a chain.
It's a chain
with jewelry on it that has my initials.
That's unbelievable. It's a CG for Corporate Greg. Which is awesome. Yeah.
Now, the great graphic work by the Fun and Games department has quite the graphic of all the guys with their chains. And here's my takeaway about the 4 pictures. Mace's photo looks like if he was to get arrested one day for tawdry activity, that would be his mugshot. Producer Jorge has an expression that reminds me of a young Crypto Ray. Crypto Ray, of course, one of our great ESPN LA superfans, who you see on Twitter all over the place. Corporate Greg's beard game is strong in his photo. And John Ireland looks completely disinterested. What's up, players? They are not going to like that joke in the Mason Ireland Reddit page. Plus, when we talk about Tupac on this show, you know what I have to throw in.
Tupac, all eyes on me. Tupac, all eyes on me.
Well, yes, indeed. Mason and Ireland, let's get it going your Wednesday afternoon right now.
How dare you, Mychal, question whether or not this jewelry is real.
You are besmirching our chains.
Yeah, I think those are costume jewelry that Mason got. There's no way Mason's spending thousands and thousands of dollars on chains.
They were
for you
done by
guys.
Jonathan of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Jason.
No, it's down the street from Jason. It's his brother Jonathan,
Jonathan.
who runs
Pretty
a
more.
low-end jewelry store.
So you were walking outside. You at CVS. You saw them things hanging on the thing on one of those little round things by your shades, and you picked them up.
By the way, Andrew tweets, Ireland, I believe there is an episode of Curb where Susie goes off on Leon when Leon fixes everything for cheaper than the repair guy.
That's
Remember,
right.
and everything
Yeah,
breaks.
exactly.
A
Yeah.
pipe breaks and it gets water all over her shoe closet.
that's
and
right.
Leon!
Yeah.
It's not CVS, Michael. It's Savaz.
Savaz, yeah.
Savaz.
That's what Mace got these.
By the
chains
way,
from.
Michael, I put this out there. Do dogs have a soul? There's like this uprising amongst dog owners who are like, Michael is completely wrong on this. Dogs absolutely have a
Just
soul.
humans have souls, people.
But and you know
Jesse
what?
Garcia Sign says, well, convincing my 4-year-old daughter that dogs aren't soulless creatures with zero chance to go to heaven wasn't on my agenda today. But whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Leona C. Word tweets, honestly, we can't confirm that people have a soul. It's true. We can't.
Well,
There's
there
no
are
evidence.
there,
Well, yeah, you got
there are
some
scientific evidence.
There are some people who clearly don't. You know,
There are definitely some soulless people walking
Yeah.
around. All right. So what were we going to do here? Oh, have you lied?
do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, yes.
You know?
I think so.
I think I got
Bergman,
something.
do you think you know?
I got something. wrote it down.
I got lost in the show. I don't have any ideas. We're doing it at 3:30.
Yeah.
If
So I still have time.
If you know the lie from today's show, or if you pick it out in the next half hour, a chance for you to join me, Travis, Sliwa, Bergman, Jorge, and Jacob Imrani at LAFC on Tuesday night in an exclusive private box experience, The Sweet Life. We will do that on Tuesday. If you can figure out today's lie of the day, I was talking to Tommy Lamb, the vice president of promotions.
Shout
here at the
out to you,
station,
Tommy.
who's on vacation right now. You know, I said, where are we on dinner with Michael Thompson?
Oh, yeah, how's that going? By the way, when he goes on vacation, you know what that is? He's on the lam.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum is right. So,
So, yeah, dinner.
This is what Tommy said. How do we know Michael's really going to show up?
Oh, for dinner? Yes, man. I'd be love to. Good wine.
I have dinner with Michael a lot. He always shows up. Often he pays.
It's one of my favorite things to do is have dinner with a bunch of friends, drink good wine, good food, just talk
And
sports.
So you're all in. You will be there.
yeah, I'll be
It's
there.
going to be before
and-
the
and-
Laker season starts.
Yeah.
So it's before everything
It's going to be in Orange County, right?
It's going to be near you.
Okay, good.
And Mace, Michael has the added bonus of he will bring his own red Solo cup full of wine.
yeah. That's right.
And I ain't sharing it with nobody.
That's right.
And a bottle of ketchup in his coat
Definitely.
pocket.
Got to have the extra ketchup just in case.
Okay, I said I want to ask a fashion question or style question.
Yes, I'm very interested because you have no fashion sense or style.
So Joe Burrow is generally pretty well dressed. Like he gets it. I'm a
Good
quarterback,
looking.
and I'm
Handsome guy.
So Jamar Chase has come out and claimed that Joe Burrow won't buy his own clothes. He says, Joe always asked me to shop for him and drop it off at the house. He's not into fashion like that. He cool with his little khakis and skinny jeans. So here's my question. My style, Juan thinks my style is hurting my career. What do you think?
Well, I would argue with him. I wouldn't accept the premise that you have a style. So I disagree. I don't think it's hurting your career. You have no fashion. Fashion's not part of your game.
It's really not part of it. And I don't. And here's the weird thing about it. I don't care.
Right.
Right. Like I don't care
You're
about
the
it.
Steve Jobs of radio.
Yeah.
Well, Steve Jobs just wore the same thing every day. Well, yeah, Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody can be Jim Hill.
No, nobody can
be like
Stu
that.
Lance.
Yes, that's stylish. So
Nobody
you look fine.
Nobody. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. You know, Michael, I saw 210 on the scale today, John.
Really?
Do you think I'm going to make it to 195 by September the 8th?
Nope.
So that's what, 20 pounds?
Yeah. No, 15.
15?
You were 210 like 3 days ago.
No, it's 211 3 days ago. It's coming off. So I don't want to take it off too fast.
What are you eating? Have you changed your eating habits?
Yeah, I changed my eating. I've
take it off
eliminated
too
all
fast and I'm
sugar,
gonna eat
so
donuts.
no donuts, no cookies, none of that stuff.
Are you eating after 6 p.m.? You shouldn't eat after 6 p.m.
I am eating after 6
shouldn't do
p.m.
that.
because I'm doing the intermittent fasting thing that Bergman said to do. So I eat in the morning and then I don't eat until 8 o'clock at night. So I've got an intermittent fasting situation.
Okay, I
It
guess as long
seems
as you eat
it
the right
seems to be
stuff.
working, but we have money on the line
Yeah.
that I will. These guys have bet I won't weigh 195.
You would have
by
to
the
lose
time.
15 pounds in a month and a half.
Are you using creamy sauces for your salad dressings, or it's all vegetables and oils and stuff?
I'm using really healthy stuff. I'm getting food delivered from this company. They deliver a bag every day, and they say, this is what you're supposed to eat today. It's 1,800 calories.
Okay. No desserts.
No desserts. Wow. None. None. It's hard for me to live without sugar.
Well, are you going for walks? You'll get 40 minutes.
Yeah, walking a lot, riding my. I got the stationary bike at home.
Yeah.
The assault bike. I love that thing.
So by September what?
8th.
And this is so you got about a month?
Got about a month. It's August the 10th.
And you need 15 pounds.
15 pounds.
He could do 5 pounds a week, 4 pounds a week.
He could, but he won't.
Why do you doubt me?
Because you're going to get stoned and order donuts.
You can get stoned and not order donuts.
Really?
You
don't
could.
Get the munchies?
You can't.
You don't get
Does
the
that
munchies?
sound like you?
So that's how you defeat the purpose. You lose, then you put it back on. You lose, put it back on with the donuts.
You know, Michael, here's the reality. And I'm sure I'm not alone in
What
this
about
thing.
fat-free donuts?
No, I don't think the fat-free
That's like
thing is.
non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, it's they're fat-free, but they still have sugar. Sugar's the thing you're trying to avoid. So at one point in the pandemic, I weighed 217. I got all the way down to 189.
Wow.
Went back up to 215, and now I'm coming down again.
You're the white Zion Williamson.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, you
But,
are.
Actually, I'm glad you raised that. So what do you think of the weight clause in Zion Williamson's
Smart.
contract?
That's what I would do. And he should be ashamed of himself. You're 19, 20 years of age, and they got to put a weight clause in your contract?
Don't you think it's embarrassing?
For him, yeah. I mean, come on, man. I'm paying you $200 million. I'm the owner. I expect you to be in shape. You expect that money to be in your account every 2 weeks. I expect you to be at a certain weight.
But okay,
And I'll do the same thing for Luka Doncic. Have you seen how chunky he is?
I don't know. He just seems to play
but,
right through
hey,
it.
Michael, I haven't seen you since, and this is kind of in the same vein of what you're talking about. They put a clause in Kyler Murray's contract that he had to study film.
Right.
And then it got leaked
Yep.
that that's in there, and then they took it out.
Yeah.
So who looks worse there, Kyler or the team?
The Cardinals. I mean, be a man. If you don't think he was studying enough and you're paying him $200-something million, that's on you, Kyler. They don't think you're studying enough.
Right.
How about that?
So you're saying
they wouldn't have put it in there if you were studying.
It's on Kyler or the team?
It's on the team for being chicken and taking it out. I'd have left it in there.
See, I think it's on the team for it ever getting out.
Well, yeah, because you
should have never gotten out that there's a homework clause in Kyler Murray's contract because it immediately suggests, hey, Kyler Murray doesn't do his homework.
Exactly, that's what I thought. So he's being lazy. So maybe his agents put it out there and say, look, they're accusing you of being lazy. Let's embarrass him. Well, I would have stuck it in there. So now I'm paying you $200 million. I expect you to be a pro. What's wrong? Why are these companies so afraid of their employees?
Yeah, I would never be afraid to have something put in a contract that I do anyway.
Exactly.
You know, if it was important to them to put it in there, I would
What
say.
if there was a clause in our contract that said you have to do X number hours of prep and you've got to track them?
They would be surprised at how I would blow whatever limit they put on there
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Exactly.
I would blow it away.
You think you got to put a weight clause in LeBron's contract? No, because that man works his tail off.
Correct.
That's being a pro. Kobe, you think you have to put a weight clause in Kobe's contract or Steph's? No, that's called being a pro.
I work more on the show than the show length.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so we're on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
If I can get the email I send to you guys done in 3 hours, that's rare.
Right. And
normally I think it like tonight. I'll eat dinner.
Yep. You're alone tomorrow, so you got to do the show, or you're with
Momo.
Momo. Yeah.
Basically, I'm alone. So, Greg has helped out lately.
Yes.
But that's new.
To you. It's new to you.
Very much so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, you would admit that even.
Yeah, because you don't like talking about stuff before
Right.
the show.
So the three, like if the Dodger game starts,
right,
I sit down and start working on it.
Sure.
I'm hardly ever done by the time the Dodger game ends.
Right.
So then I just get up the next morning.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
finish
it's hard to dredge up stories every day. I mean, what happened, if you've ever wondered, what happens is Greg makes a little list of stuff. I put a bunch of stuff in. Ireland sends this big email with a bunch of stuff in it, and we combine it all together and turn it into a show.
Coach Dave Miller agrees with me. Coach Dave Miller agrees with me and said, pros don't have to be told what to do. Be a pro. Get paid like a pro, do your due diligence, and stay in shape. That's one of my pet peeves about pro athletes. How could you not be in shape, and this is your job?
Well, we were talking about that yesterday, Michael. There are some guys, and you know this, and because you played with some, and now Clay plays with some. There are some guys who love the life more than the game.
Exactly.
And you can kind of spot them.
I would argue that, like, Manny Machado
loves the life more
more than the game.
But he's not overweight.
He's not devoted to the game, though.
Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't
hustle.
Doesn't run
I
to
know, I hate
balls,
that.
doesn't stands at home plate, admires a fly ball.
I mean,
off
the
the wall.
story I always use to illustrate this is Mason and I have been on in every imaginable day part.
Yeah.
We started as a morning show. We've done mid-mornings. We've done middays. We've done afternoon drive. Actually, when we first met, we did nights. So we've been on in every imaginable day
Yes.
part. And you and I have been traveling this whole time working for the Lakers. So no matter what time you and I would get to the gym, Kobe would be out there shooting. No matter what. Like 10 in the morning, he's out there. 4 in the afternoon, he's out there. And I never saw anybody else with him. And I said to him one day, I said, man, I can understand how people can't copy your talent, but why don't they copy your work ethic? Why isn't somebody following? Well, if I was a rookie, I'd be following you around like a dog.
That's right.
You know, if you go shoot, I'm going to shoot. If you go to work out, I'm going to work out.
Dog.
I
mean, like, for instance,
And I said, did anybody ever do it? And he said, one guy, Karan Butler.
You know, like Zion
That was
Williamson,
it.
he should have got upset. He should have said, man, maybe I got to change. Remember one night Shaq and Charles Barkley were making fun of him? You know what they say? Remember say, if was it Barkley? Barkley said, hey, if me and Shaq ever had a baby, it looked like Zion. You know, because they were talking about how fat he was.
Yeah.
And if you're Zion Williamson or his people, you got to hear that and say, yeah, man, they're making fun of you because you're out of shape.
Now, that's not something that should be handled internally. The team should, I mean, why do we know there's a why does the world know there's a weight clause in his contract?
Well, I guess you don't have to let the world know, but it doesn't bother me to hear it because I'm like, good. Put it in there.
Don't leak details from contracts.
Well, yeah, I mean, but sometimes agents put them out there
Well,
trying to embarrass
that's exactly
the team.
what's going on. Or
Yeah.
the team puts it
No,
out.
man, I don't understand. I try to tell it to my. I don't tell it to Trace because he's got a body like LeBron. But I always tell Clay, I said, Clay, you're 32 now. If you want to play till you're 40, which he says he wants to do, you got to treat your body like a temple. That's why LeBron is so great. That's why Kobe was so great because they worked at it. They stayed in shape year round. That's the secret to longevity.
Yeah,
being in shape.
All right,
do you remember? Do we have time for this? Yeah, I'll tell real quick.
Yeah, tell
So
me.
remember Larry Drew, who was a coach of the Lakers before
Yeah,
he
sure.
played in the league. He had a son, Larry, that was a good player.
Good player.
Played at UCLA, played at North Carolina.
Had a cup of coffee in the pros.
And so, like you did with Clay, Larry went to Kobe and said, hey, would you call my son and just talk to him? And so Kobe said, absolutely. He's a really good high school player. He really looks up to you. So he calls him and he says, hey, thank you for calling. He goes, I'd love to go work out with you. He goes, well, I'm working out tomorrow. You want to come with me? He goes, yeah. He goes, okay. He goes, I'll pick you up at 4. He goes, that's perfect. He goes, I get out of school at 3:30. I'll be waiting for you. He goes, no. 4 a.m. He goes, seriously? He goes, yeah. He goes, we'll go for 2 hours. I'll have you home at 6. You can shower and go to school. He goes, okay, sure enough, 4 o'clock in the morning. Kobe rolls up in his car. Larry gets in, works off. Works him. He said, as good of a workout as he's ever had. Goes to take a shower and get ready for school. He says, Kobe, what are you going to go do now? He goes, oh, I got to go to practice.
Yeah.
So Kobe would work out 2 hours before he would even go to practice.
Right.
That's what Zion should be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not everybody's a freak like that.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a freak like that.
No.
All right. Coming up next for you, there's a new movie coming out, or a new documentary coming out about Tim Donaghy. We want to play a little bit of that coming up next for you. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
great moment.
How many legs does the average millipede have? Start with Bergman.
Could do some math doing that.
Well, what's a millipede? What millipede math are you going to do? Just take a shot, dummy.
It's not rocket science. Just make a guess.
Make a guess.
$1 million. I said $1 million.
Okay, saying $1 million?
$1 million. Okay, I think you should go one leg.
No, a millipede.
A millipede. Yeah, one.
The correct answer is 400. Yes.
You just never know when they're going to pop up, right? More of Mason and Ireland your Wednesday on 710.
Only missed it by like 1.97 million. Something like that.
According to you.
1 million legs for the average millipede.
Hey, Mychal, Aaron Judge just hit another home run. 45 home runs, 99 RBI. If you had to vote for American League MVP, Judge or Ohtani?
Judge, what's Ohtani doing?
Everything.
He's doing everything.
For who?
Last night he became the first guy since Babe Ruth to win 10 games pitching and hit double-digit home runs.
To quote Derek Coleman, whoop-de-damn-do, they've won 30 games.
But he's got no control over that. You can't blame Ohtani.
They win when he
that.
pitches.
Oh, please.
They win whenever
Judge.
he pitches.
Judge is the reason why the Yankees are formidable. So, no, it's got to be Aaron Judge.
By the way, I also vote for Aaron Judge.
I agree.
It's a traveling trophy. It is his turn.
I was just trying to drum up an argument.
Yeah, traveling trophy, his turn. All right, so there's a new documentary coming out about Tim Donaghy. Remember him, the guy that
Mychal and I called many games he ref.
Cooking NFL game or NBA games like he was. There's a brand new documentary, and we got the trailer for it. It's going to be on Netflix. Listen to this.
I loved the game of basketball growing up. It's all I did, I loved the game of basketball growing up. It's all I did, all I dreamt of, and all I wanted to be a part of. Man, did I my life up.
Allegations against one basketball ref of betting on games is rocking the NBA.
As an NBA referee, it was written in the contract that you couldn't place a bet of any kind, but I had inside information, and that's all I needed to make these picks correct.
Timmy would tell me who we would bet on, and I would relay it back to my guys.
I said to myself, I shouldn't be doing this. But we were winning.
I could win a few million on each game. It's a printing press.
There was a wad of money, and it clicked. He's betting on his own games.
And then all of a sudden, the FBI was here.
Wire fraud, illegal gambling.
Let's go, baby.
You can never live a peaceful life when your life has become nothing but a lie.
I'm in.
Me too.
Yeah.
How many episodes?
That's a good question.
I think it's
just a single documentary, not a miniseries?
Yeah. And so, do you even get Netflix at your house?
I mean, yeah, I got it.
Do you know how to access it?
Yeah, I got an account the other day, so I get it.
You got an account the other day?
But I watch it on my iPad because I don't want to mess up my TV because I might mess it up.
Right. I'm fascinated by the story. I was always fascinated by the story. The idea that an NBA ref was out there cooking games, shading games one way or another is fascinating to me. I want to see
a huge part of the story was that it wasn't – he said there were many games where when he saw the referee's schedule,
right,
he knew how – he didn't even have to change his calls. He knew how it was going to go. He goes, oh, okay, Joey Crawford hates that team.
So those refs actually talk like that? Like they hate certain players?
Well, this is how Donaghy talked. This will all be in the documentary.
Yeah, it'll all be in the documentary. But there are obviously personal grudges that exist.
Still now, you think so?
Oh, yeah, between refs and players. Some refs don't like certain players and vice versa. You don't think that's true?
That's not supposed to be that way.
Did you ever get upset with refs when you were playing?
Well, yeah, but I didn't dislike them personally.
Yeah, but when Mychal played, it was different, too.
You could yell at the refs
now... Like, there's a great clip of, is it Jess Kersey who Bill Walton's yelling at him, and he says, shut up and play, you big baby.
Exactly.
Now they'd give him a T.
Yeah, just for looking at him.
Yeah.
But, you're not supposed to have personal vendettas. How do they police that, or can they police that in the NBA?
Wait a minute. This is not – there are rivalries between players and officials, and there have been historically.
But he makes a good point. You should be able to police it. They get graded on every call. You would think if I made – 50 questionable calls all against the Spurs
or against a certain player,
that would turn up.
Raise suspicion.
But wasn't that what Donaghy was doing?
Well, Donaghy, the way he got caught, and this is, by the way point-shaving scandals always end, is that the lines got super hyper. people were betting millions on a Wednesday night game between the Jazz and the Pacers.
Because he was like a tout helping rich guys make bets?
He was telling them, I'm doing this game. I'm doing this game with these other two refs.
God.
There's no way Indiana doesn't cover an 8-point spread.
So wait a minute. How does you guys know gambling? So when Donaghy would tell somebody this is the way the game's going to go, then that somebody would then spread that word to what, 20 other people?
Or just bet so much money that it would catch the eyes of the gambling commission. In other words, like if they monitor how much money. Like there was a guy named Headache Smith, Stephen Headache Smith, who played at Arizona State, and in the 80s, the gamblers got to him. He's a point guard, so he controlled everything, and he fixed a couple of games. And then once word got out that he was controlling the games, all of a sudden, a meaningless Thursday night game between ASU and Oregon State, which normally would get like, I don't know, $20,000 bet on it, had $20 million.
But how could he control the game? Let's say if Arizona State was favored by 5. I don't know how it works. So he was like,
okay, let me know. I'll do it. So the line is Lakers by 8.
Okay.
You don't think an official can manipulate that to be a larger lead or a smaller
But how?
lead?
Suppose the other team is just hot and not missing a shot.
You're calling pen. I mean, I don't think it's foolproof. I don't think it works 100% of the time.
And what you could
but
do,
I think it worked a bunch.
So let's say they're hot and they're not missing a shot.
Yeah.
Take the hottest guy. Take Reggie Miller. Call him for a ticky-tack foul. Then hit him with another one. Then give him 3 fouls in the first quarter. Then all of a sudden, don't they have to take him out?
Yep.
Yeah, a crooked ref could throw games, which is why the NBA is so strict about gambling. Like I don't even bet mythical money on games because I don't want to end up in somebody's office.
Right.
But I think the documentary will be interesting. And what they determined was it was one rogue official. And that none of the other officials knew about it.
And by the way, there are people, Michael, who look at there's a website. When I was gambling a little bit more, there was a website that told you what refs were reffing each game.
Yep.
And there were certain trends that you knew this guy calls this team a particular way. A lot of gamblers use that information in making their wagers.
But in this age of social media, how come we don't have more websites like that now?
Well, Mark Cuban tracks all those things. He tracks like which refs call games for his team and which game calls against him. So now it's all out in the open. It's very transparent. I don't think you could get away with today. If I was a ref and I didn't like Kawhi Leonard, and I worked 6 Clipper games one season, and in all 6 games, Kawhi Leonard had foul trouble, and I was the one calling all the fouls. That would turn up in 2022. It just didn't turn up 10 years ago when Donaghy was doing it.
Yeah, that'd be a good documentary. I don't know when it's coming out, but sign me up
this
for
month. A lot of Laker documentary on Hulu comes out Monday.
And he was the only referee that was doing this. You don't think the other referees suspected him and just kept quiet?
So far, I mean, to the best of our knowledge, he was the only one. He was a rogue official, is the way the NBA is.
And he was part of this small group of Philadelphia referees, where 3 or 4 other one of those guys, including Scott Foster, who's regarded to be the best ref in the league today, all grew up with him and all knew him.
By the way,
but David never turned.
You mentioned the Lakers documentary. Does that come out just like one episode?
I don't know the answer
to
that.
Does it all drop?
I know it's in several parts. Did they interview
Actually,
you for
Hulu?
it?
No, Hulu comes out 1 week at a time.
Okay,
I think we'll have a week to digest it. When's it start?
Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So we'll have that to talk about, too. All right. Coming up next for you, it's Lie of the Daytime. Ireland is told a lie sometime today, and both Jorge and Bergman think they have it. I, of course,
Michael, you think you got it?
I think so.
Okay. We'll see.
I got no friggin' idea. If you think you know what John Ireland lied about
I think
today,
it was pretty easy, actually.
877-710-ESPN. 877-710-ESPN. If you win, you will join me and Jorge and Bergman and Travis and Sliwa and our friend Jacob Imrani in a luxury suite at LAFC on Tuesday night. We'll all hang out, free drinks, everything's free up there. So it's a luxury suite. It's the sweet life. 877-710-ESPN if you know Ireland's lie. Then his game of games. It is Michael's game today. And the great Pepe Mantilla will join us from Mexico City to play. Mason and Ireland.
If the phones work.
I think they'll be okay.
That's what Pepe said.
Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
This
That's right. If you haven't done it yet, just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play. Download, tap, and bam! You got Mason and Ireland in the palm of your hand. Corporate Greg hates the BAM still. Mason and Ireland rolls on right now.
So my computer does not have an emoji for 100.
Really?
Yeah, I can't find it.
Yeah, send it on your phone.
Yeah, an emoji for 100. That's a bummer. All right, here we go. It's Lie in the Daytime, and it's Ireland's lie. At some point, he has told a lie today.
Jorge and Greg nailed it on the
Did they
first
nail
guess.
it?
Yeah, so this should be easy.
Okay, good.
I don't even think we'll need a hint.
If you are the winner, you will join me and Jorge and Bergman and Travis and Sliwa and Jacob and Ronnie in a big luxury suite on Tuesday night at LAFC. As always, we'll start with caller number 6 today. This is Diego in Oxnard. Diego, you're on 710. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hi, Diego. Hey, Diego, what did I lie about?
I don't think you saw the DGs.
Don't think you saw what?
The DGs.
No, I never said I saw the DGs. I just had, or the BGs. I just knew Dave Grohl had a band, a cover band,
right? No,
which is
the
what
BGs
I said.
And then
yeah,
the DGs. I used to date a
no,
lot
that
of
wasn't
DGs.
it.
All right, let's go to Tom in Chino Hills. Hey, Tom, you're on 710. What's up, dude?
Hey, Tom.
How you doing? What's
Good,
going
man.
on?
Good. Hey, Tom, what did I lie about?
Well, I was just going to say Dave Grohl doesn't have a Bee Gees cover band.
Yeah, no, he does. Look
He
it
does.
up. It's called the DGs.
Yeah, the DGs.
That is a real thing.
All right, we're closing.
They actually released a whole album. Dave Grohl.
Yeah,
did.
now I see what the line. Okay, let's go to Daniel in Huntington Beach. Daniel, you're on 710. How are you, man?
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, man.
Daniel, what did I lie about?
Well, I just got off work at 3, so I just if you told the lie, hopefully within the last 20 minutes, is it about the it used to be a website that used to put the rest?
No, everything about the rest was true.
No, okay. So
a hint
the
time.
first two guys are in the right area. It has to do the lie is about music. That's the hint.
Okay, lies about music. 877-710-ESPN. Let's go to Robert. Oh, drop that. Good for Robert for hanging up on himself.
Yeah, if you don't have a guess,
way to go, Robert. I have great respect for you.
877-710-ESPN.
Let's go to Victor in Montebello. Victor, you're on 710. Hey.
And he hung up.
And we
So wow, I've stumped everyone.
Now you've got to give a bigger hint.
877-710-ESPN. 877-710-3776.
How did they get mine yesterday and not get yours
Well,
today?
try Rick on line 7. I have a
Okay.
good feeling about Rick.
Rick in Mar Vista, my old neighborhood. Hey, Rick, what's
Hey,
going on,
Rick,
man?
what did I lie about?
You lied about that he made a song, a rock song of the Bee Gees.
No, we actually played that song.
Played that.
No, by the way, if you want to Google it on YouTube, go on YouTube and type in Springsteen "Staying Alive," and you can hear it. It's great. That story was completely true.
So this is turning out to be a very tough lie. Now the prize is great because we all get to hang out Tuesday night. I love hanging out with listeners, and Travis and Sliwa and Jorge and Bergman and Jacob and Ronnie are going to be there. So it's going to be a really good time.
One
on
of
Tuesday
these
night.
next two guys is going to get it, Mace. Try Wade in Long Beach, and if he doesn't get it, I'll give another hint.
Okay. Hey, Wade, you're on 710. Hey, man.
Hey, so I know the Springsteen story sounds true, but I don't think you learned it that night.
No, that's all true.
Yeah, that's all true.
Okay, I'll give you another hint. Okay, so I said I saw 3 groups in concert that I made up the concert, the 3 groups.
Okay. So they just have to name one of the groups.
Any of them.
All right, 877-710-ESPN. Let's try Dodger Blue. We lost Dodger Blue.
Wow, this really stumped
I think
people.
you may have stumped.
Okay, this may be only the second or third time ever where we don't give away a prize because
Bergman, when's
nobody
the last time this happened?
could figure out the hint.
No. And the hint you gave was a really big hint.
I know.
We'll take one more run at it.
And then if not, we'll just give it to the seventh caller.
Exactly.
All right.
877-710
Try
ESPN.
Oscar in Gardena.
De La Hoya?
Oscar.
No, Oscar.
What did I lie about?
Meyer.
That you saw the Cars. That they were the worst band you saw.
No, I did see the Cars, and they were terrible. All right, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
So
let's take caller number 7, Bergman.
Yeah, just give it to him. So the lie was that I completely made up that I saw what's the band whose day it is today? Duran Duran. I never saw Duran Duran. I
never saw Spandau Ballet.
Spandau Ballet I completely made up. And
Phil Collins.
Yeah. Though I have no idea if those bands ever performed together, if that was a real concert, whatever. But Bergman, give it to whoever you actually answer.
Give us the name afterwards.
All right. Coming up next, Mychal Thompson's Game of Games.
Call Pepe.
Oh, did he? He knew? Well, probably because they just said it.
Yeah.
No, they're on delay.
It's easy for him to get it.
Actually
I
did
just
the right
said
answer?
it.
Okay. Nice. Look, Jorge's
All right, Mychal, do you want to give a hint or just keep it a secret?
Well, last night was the first episode of Hard Knocks, and today's Game of Games is about Hard Knocks.
Oh, I've seen every episode of Hard Knocks.
And it's multiple choice.
I've watched one season of Hard Knocks.
Well, it's multiple choice.
The Rams season, exactly.
Jeff Fisher, I ain't going 8-8 again.
Yeah.
You're right. You're going 6-10.
Those cameras bring out the worst in people. All right, we will do Game of Games coming up next. Pepe Mantilla is going to join us. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
You don't want to miss Sedano and Cap. The fun way to drive home. Weekday
good. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, thank you very much, Christopher. And it is Mychal Thompson's game today. Who is joining? Do we have Pepe?
And we welcome to the show the one and only Pepe Montilla, who's in Mexico. Hi, Pepe.
How you doing, guys? It's a pleasure to be here again, and I'm just on vacation in my homeland, Mexico City. I haven't been here since 2019 because of the pandemic, so you can imagine.
How's the smog treating you, man? How's the smog?
Jorge wants to know how the smog is.
The smog is as good as the one in Los Angeles.
He feels right at home.
Yeah.
All right, so the game is Jorge Bergman, Pepe, Mason, and Ireland. And as always, Mychal is the host. Mychal, what do you got for us?
Pepe, Hard Knocks. HBO's Hard Knocks aired the first episode last night, so let's find out what you football fools know about Hard Knocks. And you got to say that Hard Knocks slow and clear because if you know what I mean.
Hard Knocks.
Hard knocks.
I don't want to say it too fast. There's people out there. Hard Knocks. Anyway.
All right. Don't know.
I don't even know.
I can't figure out. All right, what's question one?
Jorge got it. There we go. What was the first year of Hard Knocks? 2002, 01, or 03?
Jorge.
03.
Bergman.
01.
Pepe.
01.
Mace.
03.
I'll say 01.
01.
Okay, so it is Jorge, me, and somebody else.
Me.
Bergman. All right.
Which team has been featured the most on Hard Knocks? The Rams, the Cowboys, or Raiders?
Greg.
Rams, Cowboys, or Raiders?
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Pepe.
Cowboys.
Mace.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
You're going Cowboys? It's either the Cowboys or the Rams. I know the Rams. I'll go Rams.
It is Cowboys.
Yes.
Okay. So everybody's on the Bergman has 2. Or Jorge, did you get that?
I got 2, yeah.
Okay, you got 2. Bergman's got 2, and everybody else has 1.
Who was the first team?
I have 2.
Yeah, Pepe has 2.
Pepe's got 2.
Okay,
Yeah,
Pepe has 2.
Tell him, Pepe. Who was the first team to be on Hard Knocks? The Cowboys, the Chiefs, or Ravens? Boys, Chiefs, or Ravens?
This one's to you, Pepe.
Ravens.
Mace.
Ravens.
I agree. It's the Ravens. Jorge.
Ravens.
Greg.
With the crowd.
Everybody says Ravens.
It
Michael.
is.
Okay, everybody got that one.
Who will be the team featured on in-season Hard Knocks this year? Jets, Saints, or Cardinals?
Oh, in season.
In-season.
Hard Knocks. That's right.
Who will be the team?
This one's you.
Cardinals.
They've already done it. Who are the other 2?
Jets or Saints or Cardinals?
I'll go Jets. Jorge.
I'll go Saints.
1 for each team. Greg.
I think it is the Cardinals.
Pepe.
I think it is the Cardinals.
It is the Cardinals.
Okay, so Pepe takes the lead. He's got 4.
Pepe!
Wait, no, I've gotten everyone right.
All right, Bergman, you've got 4. Jorge, did you get that?
I did not.
Okay, so it's Greg 4, Pepe 4, Mason 3, Jorge 3, and I have 2.
How many teams have been featured on Hard Knocks? 12, 16, or 18?
This one is me.
12, 16, or 18 teams?
I will say
12, 16, or 18?
I'll say 16. Jorge.
What was the question? Sorry.
How many teams have been featured on Hard Knocks? 12, 16, or 18?
12.
Greg.
16.
Pepe.
16.
Mace.
16.
It is 16.
All right, so Greg and Pepe continue to run the board.
Greg
Mason
and
has
Pepe
4.
are undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Who is the narrator of Hard Knocks? Kevin Costner, Lee Schreiber, or James Earl Jones?
Jorge.
Lee.
Okay. Greg.
Leave Schreiber.
Pepe.
Lee Schreiber.
Mace.
Lee F. Schreiber.
Yeah, it's Schreiber.
It is Schreiber.
Okay. How many left, Michael?
A bunch of them.
Okay. Keep going.
Who? Anybody can jump in here and get it right. Who can spell the narrator Lee Schreiber's last name? Mason, go ahead.
Schreiber.
Yes.
Okay, that gets a point for Mace. Mace, you've now tied for the lead.
All right, Mace. All right, here we go. The only year Schreiber did not narrate was in 2007. Who took his place? Joe Buck, Paul Rudd, or Chris Collinsworth?
This one is Greg.
Joe Buck, Paul Rudd, or Chris Collinsworth?
Buck.
Pepe.
Paul Rudd.
Mace.
Paul Rudd.
I agree. It's Paul Rudd. Jorge.
Paul Rudd. It is Paul Rudd.
Dang it.
Okay, so
There's
Bergman.
no way you would pull that name out of the blue.
Rudd?
Okay, so listen to this. Pepe 7, Mason 7, Greg 6, Jorge and I 5. Very close.
Rudd got the job in 2007 because his favorite team was on Hard Knocks. What is the actor Paul Rudd's favorite team? Dolphins, Bengals, or Chiefs?
Pepe.
Chiefs.
Mace.
Chiefs.
I'm going with Chiefs. Jorge.
Chiefs.
Greg.
Yeah, Chiefs.
It is Chiefs.
Everybody got it. Okay.
In 2010, the head coach of the Hard Knocks featured team was known for ending team meetings by saying, "Let's go eat some GD snacks." Who was that coach?
Ireland.
Pepe.
Ireland.
Ireland.
It was Rex Ryan.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
So all of a sudden you just make a
jump in.
Yeah, you got to say beforehand.
You went to
All right.
multiple choice and then you went
It didn't
to buzzer.
change the standings at all, though. Pepe has 8, Mason has 8, Ireland has 7, Bergman has 7, Jorge has 6. Let's do 3 more.
Okay, 3 more.
Okay, go for it, Michael.
Which year was there no Hard Knocks because of the labor uncertainty in the NFL? 2010, 11, or 13? No Hard Knocks that year. Which year? 10, 11, or 13?
Mace.
11.
I'll go 13. Jorge.
13.
Greg.
13.
Pepe.
11.
11.
Oh, that's a big one for Pepe.
Oh, Pepe.
Okay, so wait a minute. There's 2 left.
Doesn't Pepe have the lead now?
No, you and Pepe. You got that right too, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Okay, so Pepe has 9. You have 8. Greg and I have 7, and there are only 2 left. So Jorge, you're out.
Okay.
And Greg, you and I are out unless we
get this
go
right.
different than this one. Okay, here we go.
On the 2010 Hard Knocks, Antonio Cromartie had difficulty remembering the names of what? Teammates, coaches, or kids?
Pepe.
Kids.
Mace.
It is kids.
I know it's kids, so I'm out. Bergman.
Yeah, I'm just going to say
You and
coaches
I are
just to be
both
fun.
out. Okay. That means it's kids, right, Michael?
Yep.
All right, Pepe, you have a 1-point lead over Mason. You have 10. Mason has 9. This is...
Bring it, Pepe. Come at me.
This is the last question.
Yes.
Pepe goes first, so
Yep.
he can lock it up. And, Mace, if you tie him, we'll do a tiebreaker.
Okay, got it.
Michael, what do you got?
How many kids did Cromartie have with multiple women? 10, 9, or 11?
All right,
10,
Pepe,
9, or
how
11?
many kids for Antonio Cromartie? 9, 10, or 11?
9.
Mace, 10 or 11?
I think it's probably 9, but I'll go 10.
It is 9.
Oh, Pepe! Winner on the road!
Viva la Mexico!
Pepe, congratulations. Has Pepe won before?
Yes.
It's his 3rd win. And he
Pepe.
beat you twice, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, Pepe owns me in these game of games. Hey, Pepe, congratulations, man. We appreciate you coming on as always. When are you coming back to the States?
Sneaking back.
Next
come
week.
on,
Next
Mike.
week.
What's that?
Pepe, I had to sneak back in when I came back.
Are you like Michael? Are you going to try and sneak in on a
Yeah,
raft,
that's how
Pepe?
I-
Or are you going to come in through legal means?
That's how I got back.
Michael,
What?
come on, give me a break, okay? I'm coming, please. Don't rattle the snake, okay?
Yeah.
Us immigrants, Pepe. You know, we got to sneak back.
Pepe, congratulations,
Congratulations,
man.
Pepe.
Have a good time down there.
Thank you very much.
All right,
All right,
see ya.
there you
Travel
have-
safe.
Game of Games powered by Call Jacob. Winning matters. That's why after an accident, you have to go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
So, Greg, who's on the afternoon show today?
It is Beto and Kaplan.
Beto and Cappy.
Hey,
Beto and
All right,
Cap-
tell Beto to come
Beto's
on in.
gonna
We'll
be the
get
one
Yeah,
Beto, come on in here.
I listened to those guys yesterday. It was a good show.
Oh, yeah, Beto's good,
Yeah,
man.
Beto's
You ever see Beto do his boxing
good.
stuff? Beto's great in
Yeah,
boxing.
no,
Beto's going to be
Beto's
the
good.
one today. I think today is the day he becomes the one.
Wait a minute. Is Beto going to be the one?
Well, there was a whole thing with it yesterday.
Oh!
Yeah, Cap
I don't
doesn't
know.
like being the one.
The one is hard.
Oh, it is work.
Yeah,
That's
I have no
hard.
interest in being the one.
Yeah.
I have to do it tomorrow and Wednesday.
You and Steve Mason
Or
are two
Friday.
best ones around, Mace.
Is Beto really going to be the one today?
Yeah, Beto could take charge.
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
He tries to be
says
the
if you
one.
want a good
He
show.
tries to be the one with Jim Hill, but Jim Hill won't have
If
that.
you want to get, well, yeah, no, it won't have it.
Jim
Apparently,
Hill won't put up with that.
Won't have it apparently. All right, hey, as we wind things down here, I want to do one last thing. This is what Chris Russo said about the Rams this week, and this was on.
He's been doing First Take this week.
Okay, so he's been doing First Take.
Yeah.
Leonard DiCaprio. There he is, yes.
He was asked if he thinks the Rams have a chance to repeat as Super Bowl champs. Now, keep in mind, nobody has repeated as Super Bowl champion since 2003.
Yes.
That's when the Patriots did it. Jorge, do you have it? All right, go ahead and hit it.
Now, Doug, tell me this. You think the Rams will repeat this season?
Well, listen, they're in an easy conference. There's not many good teams. And, you know, he's a good coach and he's a big quarterback. Aaron Donald, they're going to be in the playoffs. And the division's bad. That's a bad division. But I do not think they're going to repeat. I think it's too hard to repeat to begin with. Last year, they were somewhat fortunate. They could have lost to Tampa. Could have lost to San Francisco. And they could have lost to Cincinnati. They're not a dominant team. They're they're going to win their 12 games. But at the end of the day, in the postseason, do I see them winning 2-3 games to get to a Super Bowl and winning again? I do not. So my answer.
This is regardless of his injury.
Yeah, I think
felt
he'd be
this
okay.
way even if he was healthy.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with
Okay.
his tendonitis. He'll be okay. He played the other day, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's been practicing fairly well. I'm not worried about him. He'll be all right. But I do not think. I think, they're a little older. Donald can't be as good. No Beckham. The left tackle quit. I do not see them repeating in the NFC.
Okay. Dog. So he said they could have lost to Tampa. They could have lost to San Francisco. They could have lost to the Bengals. Well, of course, but they didn't. They didn't. Now, it's really hard to repeat.
I think his point is that they needed some luck.
Everybody needs – you don't win without luck.
Right, but in this case, you can point to 3 plays that basically won the Rams the Super Bowl. The first one was, and who knows why they decided to do it, Tampa, Mychal, calling that ridiculous blitz at the end of the game, to which Matthew Stafford saw the blitz and threw it deep to Cooper Kupp.
For the love of the game!
And that 30-27 Rams win. The Niners one was the most blatant one when that guy dropped a sure interception when the Niners had the lead.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda. I mean, come on.
And then Cincinnati, I never felt like
we were down
in the Super Bowl
We
that
were
they were
behind.
going to lose.
Yeah.
But they did come from behind to
All
get
right.
it.
Hey, let's play the Super Stager.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason in Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Hey, Cappy's here.
Yo.
Now, Cap, well, a question came up earlier, and we didn't know the official answer. Are you a Padres fan?
Yeah. Now, wait a second, Beto Duran.
Whoa. Yeah.
Okay, so
Beto,
defensive
you're
Cap.
like, absolutely?
Instagram doesn't lie.
Oh,
What does
are you on
Instagram say?
Instagram wearing
Yeah, what does
Padres gear?
Instagram say?
Yeah,
Let's
the,
see.
the
Let's see.
swag from last year. You had the swag chain, just like how you used to have the Clipper chain. You were out there. You used to be a Bronco fan. It's okay. You evolved.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Juan is still a Bronco fan. That's his team.
He should be.
Yeah.
I'm
Still
looking
a
for
Bronco
it.
fan.
So,
Show me that
Cap,
picture.
that's the team you've been rooting for, and now that you're on in L.A., have you kind of amended your fandom?
No.
No, he's still a Padre fan.
All right,
No.
so you can pick any team that you want to win it all. Who are you picking? Like, who would you want to win it all? Who are you rooting for?
You rooting for the Pod Squad?
It's a really tough question for me right now, John.
Yes, because you're on. And by the way, I'm not trying to. This isn't a gotcha moment, Cap. If you
No,
came back
it's
and
fine.
said,
Kind of a
I actually have, I've had a great run, 20-year run in San Diego, and I know all the people over there, and I'm rooting for the Padres, I would respect that. So, but what's your
Yeah, but
answer?
my issue is this. You see, I had a really
Just
long
answer the
relationship.
question.
Why are you scared, fool?
Stop being so defensive.
Let him try.
Oh,
let him
geez.
try to
Filibuster
answer.
Cap.
Go ahead.
Man up,
Filibuster
Cap. Man up.
I hear you, Michael. I hear you, Michael. I'm going to man up.
Sounds like you're wearing something else brown in your pants right now.
Well, you know, Michael, I do carry toilet paper in my car, and I do carry extra pants and underpants at
You
all
and
times.
Von Miller, apparently. Yeah.
At all times, I
So
carry
what's the
extra
story?
underpants.
You and the Padres. What's that relationship like?
It's not a good relationship anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good relationship.
Why they wouldn't give you free tickets?
Like
or
I
something?
think you've been open about your disdain for the Chargers.
Yeah, no, we know you hate the Chargers. Yeah,
right.
But I didn't know about the Padres.
What turned you off for the
But
Padres?
he went a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
To a Padres game?
Yeah, the
but
Padres
he
game.
You also went to a Dodger game, didn't you?
Yeah, and I actually, Dave Roberts, I'm going to name drop right here on you right now, Beto.
Played for both teams.
Yep.
Dave Roberts is like, yo, man, you going to come to a game and be my guest, or what's up? I'm like, yeah, Dave, I am. I'm taking you up on that for sure.
See? Oh, clearly.
And then he leaves the show and he goes to a Padre game. It's no problem.
Yeah. Well, have you been to that park, Beto? That
Beautiful.
park is
I would go to a
spectacular.
Padre game every
park.
single time. I have a Slam Diego mug I drink coffee out of every
Do
morning.
you really?
Because I went last year. And their store is cool. The Padres team store is cool. They have all kinds of good stuff. I bought a Slam Diego shirt. I bought my kid a San Diego hat. It's cool. I mean, you can like whatever you want. It doesn't matter. They're not paying you, so do whatever you want.
Therein lies. You see, you guys don't understand. It's complicated.
No, it's not.
No, it is complicated. It's very complicated. Because for the longest time, I was close to the Padre organization.
Right.
You know? And there's been ownership changes and management changes and radio station changes. And along the way, relationships got damaged.
Oh,
gotcha.
So you see, sensitive.
So, you see, the thing is.
See how he is?
Okay, so you had a big falling out with the Padres organization. That's what I'm hearing.
Soft.
Yes.
Soft.
Right.
Soft.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that soft?
They hurt your feelings.
Is that soft?
Yeah. If you like the Padres, stick with them.
No, but you got to understand something. I moved to San Diego in 2001, and my kids are all like hardcore Padre fans.
Pod Squad.
Yeah. Last night, my daughter was at a game.
Joe Fry.
Nice.
Night before that, my other daughter was at the game.
It's a great place
My
to watch
son's
a game.
already back to college. He watches everything all night. These guys live and die with his team.
Pod Squad.
I love
Me-
Joe Musgrove. I love the City Connect uniforms. It's awesome.
Me, I have like a love-hate thing with these guys.
He falls
You know,
in love
it's-
too soon, Michael.
Yeah.
Do you love it when you're on in San Diego and then hate it when you're on in Los Angeles?
Don't do that to him.
No, it's okay.
Forget it. No, scrap the conversation. Scrap the
Listen,
That's
here's the
totally
thing.
not
Leave my
fair.
partner alone.
Here's
Totally
the thing.
not fair.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy in the entire industry
Yes.
that's doing what I'm doing. Because I know
agree.
I know people that have radio shows in Washington, D.C. and in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Well,
Do
there's
you
no-
really know
Yeah.
somebody that has a show in both places?
Correct, yeah. Right. So he does mornings in Milwaukee and does afternoon drive in his hometown of D.C.
Who wants to work that hard? Doing morning drive and afternoon
There was a
drive?
guy
You
named
get a check
Tom
like that.
Joyner who did that for
The
years.
flyaway DJ,
Right.
Oh,
right?
yeah, sure.
Chicago
Right.
and Dallas.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm
Now
the
you have a
only
commerce.
guy in the industry that is actually a middleman now between two cities that are 100 miles apart, and one considers it a rival and the other doesn't consider it a rival. So this whole notion of, are you going to go on 710 and spread Padre love? You tell me. Well, have I been doing that?
No,
though?
just be honest. Just
the
be
answer
real.
is the answer is I have a real hard time with the Padres organization.
Yeah.
Who were
okay.
you pulling for last week when they were in town?
I was a neutral observer.
Neutral observer. By the way, I think this is totally fine, and you're allowed to be a neutral observer.
I mean, like here, I'll give you an example. Like Manny Machado,
Whoever
right?
wins my team.
Johnny Hustle?
Manny Machado. Like I cannot stand him.
Love him.
Okay,
Love
so
Dan
so
Manny
so
Machado.
Love his
Padre
attitude. He
Padre
pisses you guys
fans
off.
Padre fans love him because he's now their guy.
Yeah.
They hated him when he was a Dodger. Most baseball fans hated him when he was an Oriole. But now that he's a Padre, like I look at him and I'm like, you just got swept by the Dodgers and you're breaking out the I'm Manny effing Machado. Like, bro,
yeah.
really? But then you see, but then last
It worked for
night,
Kevin Durant.
he hits a 3-run home run to walk off a game, and you're like, okay, well now you're Manny effing Machado.
Right.
You know?
So, Beto, you're all cool with Manny?
Love that guy.
Why?
Because he's so arrogant and so cocky and full of himself that I love those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Because you're going to come out there and, like, you know, boo me all you want. Great. I'm still going to go live my life and still perform
I'm
whatever
still
I
going
want
to
do.
walk to that ground ball.
Yeah.
I am still.
And
I am still going to crawl to
those
first
couple
base.
of months when he was a Dodger, you loved him too.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Absolutely not.
Wait, he won you a couple
became
games?
Johnny Hustle. That's when he brought up the Johnny Hustle thing and said hustling is not his cup of tea.
It's not.
We turned on him right there.
No, first of all, there's also so much fake hustle in sports. guys that are overreacting, Kike Hernandez. So you want to go out there and, I'm hustling so much. Nah, there's no need.
I can identify hustling.
You can also identify.
Manny Machado doesn't do it. I watched him
He's not getting paid to
walk
hustle.
to a ground ball last week.
He's getting paid to hit bombs.
No, he's got 19 homers and 60 RBIs. That's
You're not paying
guys
these
like
guys
that
to
grow
hustle.
on trees.
Like I remember Garrett Anderson, why didn't you dive? I ain't getting paid to get hurt. No. I'm more valuable on the field, man. There's no need for that extra effort. That Johnny Hustle guy, great, yeah. Then you're on the DL after you break a rib. Now forget that.
Hey, speaking of which, tomorrow night is the Field of Dreams game.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Is anybody watching that?
Yeah, I'll
interest.
watch it. I think it's really neat. Yeah.
No interest in
Michael?
No, I didn't even know it was on.
It was one of the highest-rated baseball games of
And
last
who's playing
year.
in this game? Is it like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, like two really bad teams or something like that, or is it actually interesting?
I don't remember who the two teams are. Last year it was Yankees White Sox.
And Tim Anderson said he had no clue about Field of Dreams, that he didn't watch it. He said African Americans don't watch Field of Dreams, and he was on the CC Sabathia podcast talking about how he has no clue about these guys going to a cornfield in Iowa, and it's marketing. Are they going back to the one time too many? Probably. Does it look really cool on TV? Yeah, like Kevin Burkhardt and Frank Thomas were driving through a Iowa cornfield today in a VW bus. It's great. I mean, I've watched the movie, one of my favorite movies. When I went to Boston the first time, I said, if you build it, he will come. I'm looking for James Earl Jones to come out. But it's a folksy book movie kind of thing.
It is.
But do I really want to watch somebody playing in the middle of the week there? Not really.
The beauty of it, it's not required. I think it's really cool.
Hey, Michael, let me ask you something.
They're selling $100 T-shirts there.
Are they really?
Yeah, it's marketing.
Michael, did you see the whole Steph thing go down last night?
Yeah, that's cool, right?
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure. I said, please, Trace, get a hit here.
Make it worth for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Steph Curry was sitting next to the Dodger dugout last night, and Trace wasn't in the lineup. Trace Thompson, Michael's youngest son, who knows Steph because through Clay, and he got up to leave, and Dave Roberts noticed he was leaving and had somebody flag him down and say, hey, tell Steph not to leave. I'm going to pinch hit Trace. Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to just confirm, because that was what I had read, that Dave Roberts literally signaled over to Steph Curry and goes, yo, hold on, don't leave yet, because Thompson's about to get up. And then Trace comes up and hits a double, and Steph is videotaping it the entire time. What I haven't done, though, is I haven't gone to Steph's Instagram or Twitter or anything. Has anybody seen the video that he shot of Trace's double last night?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Did he
Where'd
put
you
it
see
out
it?
on Instagram?
Well, it was mostly, I haven't seen his video of it, but I've seen a video of him.
Right, that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
Everybody had video of Steph
Right.
videoing Trace, but we haven't seen Steph's video that he shot of Trace.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't put it on his Instagram
Yeah,
yet.
it's not on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, he usually does it. Yeah, that was nice of Steph to stick around for that.
Yeah, that was
What was
cool.
he doing? I mean, Michael, did you know?
He was
or
a
because
fan. He was
drinking
his beers, man.
Yeah, he just
but
wanted to go to a
Trace-
game.
Trace said that it wasn't like he called him and said, "Hey, I'm coming to the game," or "Can you leave me tickets?" I mean, just
Steph was in Long Beach. He and Snoop dedicated a court in Long Beach, so that's why he was in the area.
Cubs Reds is the
that's
game.
the matchup.
No
By the way, the
No.
get-in price, $850.
Oh, come on.
At the
Go to
Field
Iowa?
of Dreams game.
Come
yeah.
on.
How many fans?
$850.
How many fans can they fit in there?
Don't know, but there are tickets going for as much as $5,200.
Well, there's not that many. I think it's like 10,000 maybe.
It's a very small venue.
no interest.
I mean, it's surrounded by corn.
Is it like is it good visual on TV? Kind of cool.
Looks
Yeah, it looks
really
really
good
cool.
on
Joe
TV.
Davis is doing the game.
Oh, nice.
Pre-game starts at 3. First pitch at 4:15 tomorrow.
Do any children come out of the corn?
Children of the
Listen
corn.
to Michael.
Nice job, Michael.
We're going to have to put you in a penitentiary.
Very nice, Mace. Very good, Mace. Friday, big day for you coming up.
how
Talk to
about
me, man.
that? So we're going down to San Diego. We're going down to Del Mar for a couple of days, and we're going to the track on Friday.
So
And
are
Cappy-
you off on Friday?
I'm off on Friday. I'm
All
off
right, so I
Thursday
get to
and
fill
Friday.
in?
I don't know.
Me
You
and you,
check with
Michael,
John.
let's take over.
Check with John.
Yeah, well, if
Michael's
you guys
not
want
going
the
to work
show,
anymore.
take it.
Yeah. No, it's available the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Next week, John's gone. It's available all next week, too.
Perfect, I'm in.
No, actually, next week, are we spinning the wheel of hosts next week? I never know
We
who's going to come
are
in.
spinning the wheel of hosts next week.
All right, good.
Yeah.
You guys going to be at
8,000
Wednesday?
Who's it going to be? Nobody
At the
knows.
Field of Dreams.
I won't.
8,000.
Mason will. You can text Bergman. You can come up if you want.
Yeah, I'll be here.
I'll be here Tuesday.
great.
Come hang out.
So, Mace, you're all ready to come down, and you're going to go to the track. You have the
I am.
proper
Do
hat.
you have
You
a
have the
I don't know. What kind of hat do I wear?
You need a seersucker
seersucker
suit. Yeah, you need a suit. You need to wear shoes.
He'll bring a regular sucker like a popsicle. Does that count?
No, but Mace said he wanted to go casual. He didn't want to get all dressed
no,
up.
fancy Mace, bro.
No, I'm gonna go Sunday swagger.
No.
I love my Sunday swagger shirts. Yeah,
that doesn't cut it at Del Mar.
No,
it does. It's fine.
I'm not trying to fit in with the fancy crowd.
Like the one that Judge Smales bought in Caddyshack.
Fedora,
you wear that one right
come
there.
on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you got a fedora? You got to break it out.
I own a fedora. Yeah.
If you have one, you should wear one.
I wear the same hoodie at work every day. Yeah, I've got a fedora.
And a monocle.
Well, I got you set up in a much more casual section because I definitely thought you and Juan were going like flip flops and board shorts.
Absolutely, that's what we're doing.
Be fancy, be bougie.
I'm not.
Come on.
I'm not. I don't like bougie.
You can't hang out.
I don't
with the
enjoy
commoners.
bougie.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not a
Millionaires hang out in a certain area. You got to go hang out with Cap.
No.
Are you going to bet down there, Mason?
Oh yeah, I'm going to play the ponies. I'll play the ponies.
Do you have a strategy on how you bet?
I used to have that. Jonathan Hardoon.
Yeah,
and
Janice.
Hardinger. They had that system that they used and always gave me good winners. Maybe they're around. But I'm actually pretty good at the betting. I'm pretty good at I've done pretty well over
what's the
my
most you ever
history.
won down there?
Probably the most I've ever won was the night our horse ran.
Yeah, he just took his wallet to the window and gave him his wallet.
Gave all my money,
Take-
put it on our horse, and the horse came through. It was like 9-1, and
Michael,
cleaned up.
that horse was like a black hole. Right after she won that race, we started getting bills. Horse dentist, horse transport,
acupuncturist.
Yeah, horse jockey fee. Yeah. I'm like, and I go, wait, Mace, don't we each own 2.5% of this horse? We own 5% total. Why are we getting all the bills?
Right.
Why are we getting 80%
Because we were
of the bills?
suckers.
Yep.
So why did you guys get all the bills? Why not the majority of the owner?
We
That's
never
what we
really
said.
fully investigated.
Really?
Yeah.
Never
Did you
fully
pay it?
investigated.
Did you guys pay the bills?
Yeah, we paid it, and then we got rid of that horse as quickly as we could.
How'd you get rid
Michael,
of
why
it?
don't you come down
we
on
sold
Friday?
her for breeding purposes.
I mean, listen, I watch the Kentucky Derby, then I'll watch the Bell or the Preakness in case the Kentucky Derby, see if we can go for the Triple Crown. But that's as far as my interest in
Yeah,
horses.
but what about a beautiful summer afternoon on a Friday, a Del Margarita, an ice cold beer? Come on, Michael.
A little action at the windows.
I can do all that at the house.
So Michael's niece is coming in here, and he's going to the airport to pick her up. She's staying with him for a few days while they're going to a wedding in San Diego. And Michael, you know how he feels about house guests.
He doesn't like people.
Yes. What could we do? Fake fire alarm? What? I'm trying to think of what we could do to
get her out of the house?
Yes.
Hey, hold on. She's coming from the Bahamas?
Yeah.
That's why she's staying with you.
How old a young lady is she?
Shalon is, let's see, I'm 67, so Shalon is 50.
Okay, now when she gets to the house, first of all, obviously take off the shoes, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then what about like cleaning her off when she gets there so she doesn't bring in
Yeah, will
germs
you
from
allow her in
plane?
the pool or no?
No, I'll put towels all over the sofa so she won't leave any stains.
But like you say to her, hey, when we get to the house, A, take off your shoes, and B, go immediately to the bathroom and shower. I don't need you dirty and bringing germs into my house.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
How long is she going to stay?
Still Saturday.
Oh, that's what you think.
Wait a minute. So
Saturday
it's
next
Wednesday
month.
to Saturday.
Yeah.
No, in our family, the limit is 2 nights.
No.
Like 2 nights is enough.
Island are different, though. Bohemians, Mexicans, you show up for one night, you're staying for a week.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. You're not going anywhere. Michael, I'm surprised you even answered the phone.
You know, here's the mistake I made,
Your
Cap.
wife set it up.
They tell me to come into San Diego because the husband has some business there, right? So I say, oh, we're only 60 miles from San Diego. Come up and see us. Next thing I know is Michael invited us to stay with us.
Yeah, you really.
The rich uncle invited us. Heck yeah.
Yeah, you really
They
got
know how much
suckered in
Clay
on that
makes.
one, Michael.
I love my niece, Laura, but I don't want.
Come up and visit, meant come stay.
I hate
Hey,
that.
listen,
That's
last thing for you. You were talking about who's going to be the one and who's going to be the two. And so you understand this. The one guy is the one that talks and sort of sets the agenda. The two is the reactor. Now, yesterday you were having a conversation about who's going to be the one and who's going to be the two.
Well, I mean, Wally Cap, I don't want to Wally Pip him.
Cappy's a great one.
I know, but if he lets me be the one, it's going to be Sedano and Durant. So don't do it.
It won't be Duran and Sedano?
No, I know my role. You see George's contract?
So wait, so you're gonna be the one here,
Yes.
but then you're gonna move to the two.
I'll be the one
when
here,
they fire
replace
me.
you,
Right?
and then
Okay.
I'll be the two with
Have you
Sedano.
ever tried to be the one with Jim Hill?
I would like to be there for that conversation.
Yes, me too.
All right, so you guys are going to come out. 2-shot. Beto on the right, Jim on the left. Hey, just for kicks, Beto, why don't you talk first?
That'll work.
Yeah, there you go. I'll be in Des Moines.
All right. Hey, listen, Mason Ireland is back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Ireland will be here with Momo. Coming up next for you is Cappy.
Nope.
The best one around.
Nope.
Are you really going to be the one?
I showed up with a Target T-shirt. I'm talking boxing
Okay.
and Raiders all 4 hours.
Oh, God. Stay tuned. All right. See you next week, Mason Ireland, 710 ESPN.